was a great swim.
Look at how slimmed out I look all of a sudden. I've lost some of my svelte muscles and a bit of my girth, but around the face, I feel like I'm looking very slim now suddenly, and I have no handsome mustache either.
There's a lot of things different about that image and what's going on right now.
That's true. That's absolutely true. I actually don't know who either of those people are. That's essentially what AI assumes Joe and I actually look like. So I'm just going to go with it. I'd rather be that guy, comfortable in his own skin, heavy set, floating in the pool with no frickin' carnival worker tattoos like I have right now. I literally look like I build Ferris wheels for a living.
Unfortunately, though, Jason's about to get us.
Yeah, the Jason, he looks perfect. I
that
mean,
was
100%.
Ladies and gentlemen,
A+ AI.
That was a last-minute addition.
Yeah.
That we hope you had fun with. I was showing Christian some of the outtakes from having some fun with some AI stuff, and he said we gotta do that. So
I just wanted to
that's for you guys.
Just poison all of your eyes with that image before we get rolling here. And hello, ladies and gentlemen of the past, present, and future, listeners of the past, present, and future. Welcome to Haddonfield Radio's annual halfway through the season live stream, which this time we call our Sawed in Half live stream for obvious reasons.
It's been about 6 months since we've had a live stream, right? So
yeah, we don't come out here and do the live as much as we probably should, and it's always a blast to get together with you guys and just to talk about some recent movies and what's been going on with the channel and what the second half of the season, some of the future plans for Haddonfield Radio. We'll be sharing that with you guys today. Because actually, Joe and I were realizing historically, this is the live stream where we've always basically announced whether or not we were going to be continuing on into the next season, which would be season 5 going forward.
Yeah, unbelievably.
And unfortunately, I have to tell you guys, it's with a heavy heart, I share with you.
Fired him.
Joe will be continuing, and I have been let go. I lost the weight. I got in shape. Joe couldn't handle it, and cast me out like an outcast, like Napoleon to whatever the frick island off the coast of France Napoleon got sent to for decades.
Wow.
But yeah, no, we are going to be continuing on to season 5.
Oh yeah, we'll give you some hints later on. We're not going to, give you the full deal, but you'll get some hints as to what's going on in the second half of the season. And like Christian mentioned, some movies, some good movies we've seen.
Yes,
recently.
a couple
some
of really good movies to talk about. By talking about those couple of movies, we sort of can talk about even a much broader sort of examination of where we are in film culture right now. It's certainly a very unusual place in history to be in, watching some of these movies. Tonight we're going to be talking about 2 movies in particular. Curry Barker's Obsession, because why wouldn't we? It's what basically everyone's talking about at this moment in time.
And kind of ties to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise that we're in the middle of, right?
Because
He's
Curry Barker will be
taking on those reins, right?
And then we will be discussing the Markiplier film Iron Lung. As well.
The last live stream, I believe we showed the trailer.
Yep.
Because it was upcoming and it was something we were excited about, and now we get to talk about it. Yes, season 5.
We're definitely going to do
Halloween
season
Gal,
5.
right? And HBO Electric. Wait, what AI platform? Well, we're using multiple. That's the thing. We're sort of experimenting right now. It's such a wonderland, and I don't know if we have to get into it now, but it does lead to a bigger conversation about AI and its use and how people are using it, and we kind of have given ourselves some rules around that, and we're definitely though playing around and experimenting, as you've seen with the ads, not necessarily to help make the episodes, but when we do our advertising, I'm definitely having some fun.
Like if you guys have enjoyed Joe's trailers for the episodes this season, I always look forward to seeing them because they always make me laugh. And I personally think Joe has gone above and beyond.
I'm trying to kind of really go with the funny stuff this season.
I want to be clear about something. It's important to me to be clear about this. I actually have literally nothing to do with those ads. Joe creates, designs, produces those
Well,
ads
no,
himself.
I believe I
What's
was
so weird is I appear in
Yeah.
numerous of them.
But I had to have
But-
you send me, like, you're in your bathroom sending me you going like,
That's right.
I just want to go back to Joe's basement.
I
So
had to film that on my camera.
I have to get some reference video sometimes,
during my vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but for the most part, that is an AI version of me, and I find that absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, I know, me too.
I want to meet the AI version of me so bad. I want to shake his hand, give him a kiss on the cheek.
There's a close-up of me in the back of the van of the last ad, and I'm like, oh, it's me, but it's not me. My eyes are moving weird or differently than I would, but yet, you get the gist, and it's funny, and it's fun to just play around and do something different.
Can I say hello to a few people who are joining us in chat?
I was just going to say, we have to say hello to Texafire, right?
Texafire, oh my word,
beautiful
God.
video for us on Instagram, right?
Sent us a beautiful video message.
That was great.
That really
love it.
made Joe and I feel really good when we received that, and really happy to hear those kind words. Of course, Kimberly, Spooky Halloween gal, is here. She's been watching our live streams. Sadly enough for her, she's been stuck watching our live streams since all the way back to season 1, which now was over 4 years ago.
It's crazy.
We have been going pretty much nonstop through the slasher Mount Rushmore for the past half decade now.
One of the first, if not the first, listeners to reach out.
I think she was the first listener to ever reach out to us.
We're gonna have to. There's gonna be like a patch or something, right?
And that meant so much, quite sincerely, because that was the first point where Joe and I actually realized at least somebody was listening to what we were doing and checking out our work, and so it really lit a fire under us to keep going and continue on and keep trying to build it. Want to say hello to House of Horror 96. Absolutely love you. So happy to see you here. Of course, HB3 Electric, absolute veteran of our live stream chats. Again, I apologize to you, good sir. I apologize for that. You've had to endure that all these years. Also, who else do we have? Did I miss anybody? I think it's been going by kind of quickly. Passion of the Mics, of course.
Oh, God.
Absolutely.
OG.
Hello.
Yes.
We love you. Thank you for joining us. So, yeah, we're going to talk about some movies. We're going to talk about some things.
Yep.
Don't get all your panties in a bunch over the AI thing. Look, I want to quickly share my philosophical take on it really quickly.
Yeah. Quick.
At least what got exactly.
I know.
At least what got me over the hurdle of not being afraid of something I don't understand, especially from a creator's point of view. I wanted to make sure before I made a judgment about something. I think part of the problem is, really quick, we need to stop calling so many different things AI.
Sure.
I think the problem is there's a lot of kind of dissonance because so many different, you have like a supercomputer like Skynet is called AI, and then like essentially like a digital paintbrush that you can use for building YouTube videos is also called AI.
Right.
And I think that's inherently part of the problem. But for me, it all comes down when I think about an artist in the past, like take Picasso, for example. When Picasso painted any of his greatest works, of course, he had to use a paintbrush. That's the technology that enabled his creativity. Without that paintbrush, he could not have created his classic works. Yet, at no place do you ever see Picasso crediting his paintbrush as a collaborator. It's technology that allows him to facilitate his imagination and his creativity and share it with others, right? The AI tools that creators on like a YouTube platform, for example, or a podcasting platform, or a storytelling platform, anything like that, the type of tools that are used or can be used are just modern versions of exactly that. A modern version of a paintbrush. It's simply a tool. Like with any tool, you can abuse it and create this what people call AI slop and things like that.
Yeah, and that's junk.
But there is a place for this technology. I promise you.
As a tool for artists to sometimes have access to stuff you don't normally.
You can find uses for it when you implement it along with other tools to enhance the, I guess you'd call it, production value of your work.
And let me say, as the guy who's using a lot of the programs, it's not as simple as just saying, make me this.
Yeah,
there is a lot of finagling and a lot of learning how to manipulate the programs to get what you want out of it. It's not very simple. Just, I mean, it took 50 tries sometimes to get a single shot for that last trailer just right. So,
and what's interesting is if you were to sit and watch as Joe's kind of collaborating with the technology to kind of create some of these images, it's so driven by human creative energy. The process of driving the prompts, whether you're working within music or imagery, is so keyed to high level creative thinking that I actually believe that if you don't already possess that type of training in your mind as a creative person or someone who expresses themselves creatively, it's almost would be like learning another language or an alien language. Like you have to have that base level deep creative ability to think to even sort of engage with some of this technology.
for us also, it became a tool to help us with copyright issues. We developed our show using different beds of music and videos based on films that are all copywritten. And unfortunately, as the show grew, it became harder and harder and harder to get these things through YouTube and Google's, algorithms and whatnot. So the AI really allowed us to keep our format, keep music where we wanted to have music, and it not be a music that's going to trigger a copyright issue for us. Now we're down the line because I even tried paying for that types of services where you get the rights to music, and that still got flagged over on Spotify. So it was like really the sort of using AI to help with music.
The other risk of that is using some of this licensed music beds it is exactly that. You may tune into a different YouTube video later that day and end up hearing that same piece of music. And it sort of erodes the feeling of uniqueness or singularness or originality to your creativity. So I'm here to tell you, any note of music, for example, that you hear in an episode of Haddonfield Radio is original music, okay? When Joe and I, for example, are creating the stories that start the episodes, just to give you guys a sense of how it works, I'm like the actor and the writer, and then Joe is everything else. To put it into like a movie metaphor, Joe's the director of the story. Joe's the editor of the story. Joe's the composer, the art director. And more important than anything else, if you were to say,
Go on.
It's true though. A lot of times in the comments when people compliment the stories, they point the compliments towards me because you hear my voice. Up until the last episode, where of course you now hear Joe's voice. I finally got Joe involved to play a character for me. And that's going to continue, thank God. But it is such a collaborative effort to make these stories.
It takes a lot of work.
It's a lot. All of the production you hear is entirely Joe. I'm involved. What I do is I write them, and I do the voice. Yeah. I do the performance.
Well, I mean, and hey, the Ed Gein one. I mean,
that was a
what
blast
worked about that
together.
was the voice you did. I hope everyone enjoyed Christian's
we really
take on
do
Ed
hope
Gein
that.
because that was, I think, a masterful performance.
Well, I don't know.
And
I just think that it was an absolute blast. The one thing I'll say about doing the Ed Gein story of the last episode is it's one of the only stories was I was so sad when it came time to record it because I didn't want to stop working on it.
Yeah.
Because I was so loving spending the whole month with this version of Ed Gein living in my head and just speaking to me all day. And all day long I'd have my notes app open on my phone, literally like writing down what I was hearing him saying. And a lot of which ended up in the story, and a lot of which I feel like didn't even really come out of my own imagination or my own consciousness, almost like I was like channeling it in or picking it up in a way. Felt very strange, but...
Well, he spent a lot of time in prison. Maybe we can visit Ed again, and he has some flashbacks, and who knows.
I would love to do like another, somehow another Ed Gein story, because I enjoyed living within the world of Ed Gein all month. But we really, really do sincerely hope you guys enjoy the episodes this season and have enjoyed the stories and of course the commentaries as well. Yeah. We've been really, really trying to put every fiber of our being into these episodes and making them as good as we can, solely because we feel you guys deserve literally nothing less than our absolute best efforts.
And it's boring if the show just keeps doing the same thing every season, right? So we try to always...
Nobody wants that.
We're doing something a little different with these stories.
Even if you think that you wish the show could always sort of just be sort of at the same speed, I guarantee you over time you would start to get very bored with it. And unfortunately, so would we. That's the other problem.
Yeah. I mean, I love talking about the movies. Don't get me wrong.
As do
Oh
I.
my
I mean,
God.
I'm someone who will be passionate about cinema for the rest of my life.
But it is fun to create these sound landscapes, right? And
Yeah.
it's becoming more of a popular thing on podcast platforms, these audio movies. And,
like movies of the mind,
right,
yeah.
real actors are starting to sort of sign on board to that type of
absolutely.
thing.
You can go over to like Audible and you can find essentially exactly what I just said, a movie, all these different movies of the mind with A-list level Hollywood talent doing the voices and the narration. And I'm personally like super intensely fascinated by the development of that style of storytelling, and the fact that you're collaborating with the listener and allowing the listener to sort of create their own visuals as you're sort of telling them the tale and telling them the story.
I've always been into radio dramas since I was a kid. I mean, you go back to War of the Worlds, and then, for me, big time was the Star Wars radio dramas that came out in the 70s and the 80s, and then even the 90s. And then, of course, we flirted with it back in our actual radio days. So it is something we've always sort of, had on our radar and
Joe and I have
with
actually
and,
been doing, we've been doing like versions of what we used to call spoken word back in the old days, all the way back to like the 90s. Actually, we were recording these types of things, and originally it goes back to there was like the Doors album, American Prayer, which I still think is one of the most trailblazing albums the Doors ever did, even though Jim Morrison was already dead and gone by the time it was actually put together as an album and released. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, it's the posthumous to Jim Doors album where the Doors made all these kind of musical.
Jim, right before he died on his birthday, went into a recording studio by himself and just recorded all this poetry that he had that he loved for whatever reason to start getting ready to do a spoken word thing down the line.
Right.
This was like a first, and then he died. But then years later, the Doors, got together with these recordings and found ways to add music and give it.
Oh, it's incredible!
It's beautiful. It gives it a whole.
If you guys have never heard this album, you've got to look it up.
If you like the Doors at all,
it's even if you just I mean, it's so, again, it's such a trailblazing album for the time. It's so ahead of its time. But Joe is obsessed with the Doors all his life, and so that was always around, and just the aesthetics of it was very inspiring to me and to Joe, and so we used to try to emulate things like American Prayer, kind of create our own versions of it, these spoken word recordings, and here we are all these years later, essentially doing basically the same thing.
And then remember on the old radio show, we would do these fake audio documentaries about bands that didn't exist,
or we did like
like
a lost episode of Doctor Who. We
that
recreated.
type of stuff.
We did a lot of kind of crazy shit like that.
Spooky Halloween Gal. I don't know if we'll ever actually directly share the radio shows. All I can say is if you dig hard enough, maybe you can find them.
We've said before, they exist out there in the public domain somewhere, but we will never tell you where that is.
Our actual names are not associated with it in any way, and that was sort of part of what it was.
And truthfully,
we've explained it before, but
truthfully, it's even further beyond just the fact that our actual names are not associated with it. Joe and I were actually completely immersed in completely different identities for that project that lasted years.
In our early 20s, also very different people. Like it's a
very
it's weird,
experimental kind of talk radio we were working and trying to do, and we had a lot. I can't even imagine to this day the amount of leeway we actually had back then.
It was very in your face, and I don't want to say that in like a shock jock Howard Stern way. No. It was just in your face.
I think the problem now is if you were to listen to our radio show from back then with your ears now, I think some people might find it culturally insensitive or a lot of different offensive.
We were playing people that crossed some lines.
That's what that was what the nature of the show was. It was a show that was almost satirical without being satirical. But anyway.
It is out there. And
you can find, it's like 100 episodes of it. We did this show for literally 5 years. And I also want to say, if you look closely certain places, there are clues embedded.
Oh, we've done it.
We've embedded clues certain places that will lead you to these episodes.
There has been one listener that found it.
No.
One listener, at some point I just sent you, it was a while ago, they commented on one of the radio show videos with our with the Haddonfield radio
Oh my
name.
God, that's crazy.
Yeah, they knew. Somebody
I just
knew.
want to say, Scott from Toronto, hello and welcome, and we love you, and thank you so much for being here and joining us. Anyone who's taken time out of their busy schedule to literally come and hang out with us here in Joe's basement, you guys have to understand that that means the effing world to both Joe and I. This is such a highlight a couple times a year to just come down and just chit chat. And of course, if you've watched any of our previous live streams, and you certainly can because they exist under our live tab on YouTube here, you know that we keep these pretty loose and we just kind of just make it conversational. But
we're going to take your calls
yeah,
towards the end of the episode like we always do.
we'll
You'll
take
have your
your
chance
calls.
old school call into the show.
just like the old talk radio days, we'll take your calls and we'll see who pops up and what they want to talk about. So we'll be doing that a little later on after we talk about a couple movies. But what
Can
other
I
things?
really quick? Can I bring up a
Yeah.
little housekeeping, right? Because this is some people have been asking for a while, but I want to announce that we're now on a few other platforms.
Oh, that's right.
So you
Yes.
can now just search for us on Apple Podcasts. Of course, we've been on Spotify, but we're also now on YouTube Music, which is its own separate app for audio-based things. And so our episodes will start appearing there more and more in their podcast category. But you just look for us, and you'll find what's available. And of course, we're mainly our main platform is still YouTube.
Yeah, that I consider myself a YouTuber at heart. As many of you longtime listeners know, I'm totally in love with the platform of YouTube and the incredible diaspora of creators all around the world that make it so special. So I consider myself a YouTuber, but I love Spotify, and I'm so thankful to be on Apple Podcasts as well.
Yes. Again, all you have to do is search us, Haddonfield Radio, and you'll find us on any of those 4 platforms. It should make it easier to listen to us on the go and in different places and whatever your availability is to do different devices and apps and
Yeah,
whatnot.
when people bring something to our attention, like we've had a few different listeners kind of message us and say, can you please include your work on Apple Podcasts? And so Joe and I, we don't ever ignore that. We've been just working on getting there, and now it's here. It's a reality. So if that's the way you want to listen to it, you can find those episodes. They're all there. Right?
Hey, we got to say hello to Mike Hatfield.
Mike Hatfield is here.
He did that beautiful image that you saw in the beginning, the drawing of us with you sawing the microphone in half, right?
I absolutely love that. And you know what I've discovered recently? Not so recently, just in the recent history. Mike Hatfield, like myself, is a real purveyor of the mixed martial arts. So we've been having a lot of great conversations, messaging back and forth about various fights and fighters, and so I've really enjoyed that. He even included my UFC hat in the poster. It made me really feel happy to show my love. But anyway.
Now, something I've noticed, it's in this chat, and I believe I saw a couple of our listeners in a different post somewhere mention this idea of season 5 that they want to come and see us, have like some sort of a meet.
Oh, like a live
listeners, like they would come. Like, would these people actually come to Rhode
'Cause here's the
Island? Is
thing,
what I'm saying.
only-
I don't know if we'll do it in the basement.
My only
but
fear about that is that
we
we
could-
would get so excited about it, we would be so thrilled, and then no one shows up.
I know.
And then because that's happened to us before. I think we honestly, when Joe and
Did
I
it?
flew out to Pasadena at
Oh.
the end of season 1, we had just crossed the threshold of 1,000 subscribers, and Joe and I were just over the moon. I promise you, I'm not being funny here. I'm still proud of that accomplishment. It was so freaking hard to scratch and claw our way to 1,000 subscribers. And we literally crossed that threshold right when we released episode 13, which was the final episode of season 1. And then we got on a plane, went out to Pasadena. Why did I start talking about that?
I think were you going to bring up when we were going to do a meet and greet out there?
And we were
But
going to
no,
do a meet and
but
greet
that
out
was
there, and
us.
we chickened the
we
F out.
canceled it. But then we went to a restaurant.
That's true.
And we still met. I believe her name is Amy Allen, one of our followers.
Somebody came up
She
to
recognized
us in a
us. She's like, "Are you guys Haddonfield Radio?" And that, I think, to this day is still. And then she
Yeah.
did it to me again. I was doing with my droids, the Star Wars droids at a con.
Oh wow! And you saw her there.
And she came up to me there
Because
like,
she
"Hey,"
goes
and I'm
to
like,
a lot of cons.
"Yeah, she's all over the place."
She's got a lot of fandoms.
I think Sons of Anarchy. She was following around a lot. Anyway, so it was funny to keep running into her. But I don't know, a Rhode Island meet and greet, that would be amazing.
I mean, I'm always for it. But
I don't know if we can be as
only
cool
other fear
in
is
person as we.
That's
as
what
we
I was just gonna
appear,
say.
and
Sometimes it's always funny
you
that
can suck it up for an hour.
people that maybe listen to the podcast might have a certain image of, even through watching the live streams, they might have a certain image in their heads as to what we are like, or what kind of people we are, what our personalities are like. And anyone who's done any performing knows that even when you're low key during a live stream, it's still a performative side of ourselves here. In my real life, I'm so misanthropic and so like such a loner that whenever there's anything that has to do with going out of my bedroom in any reason other than having to come in here to record the show, which is like going from my basement directly to Joe's basement, if anything other than that, or going to work, which took me years to master.
I think if there was a handful of listeners sitting like right in town, you'd have to come. But you are right. It is hard to get you out to do anything else but the show.
Mainly because...
Or go to California. Like, it's one or the other. Either we're going all the way to the other side of the country, or
I would
we're
like
going
to say,
to our
in
basement.
2028, let's all meet out in Pasadena. That's what I think would be fun.
Is that the next one? Is it
2028.
That'll be
coming
5
right
years?
up. That'll be 5 years. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
That's like basically like 18 months
well, we
from
should
now.
figure. I know Mike or Keith Voss, wanted to do like one of those Crystal Lake meetups that's happening in a year, I think.
That sounded fun. We talked about that at the
could all
last
converge
live
there
stream.
and hang out at a campfire, and you know who knows.
One more thing I wanted to mention about the stories. If you've noticed, we released the Ed Gein story solo on its own under the new sort of spin-off title, Haddonfield Radio Dramas. We're going to be doing that for a bunch of our existing stories that have started many of the season 3 and season 4 episodes, except what we're going to be doing for the next few is director's cut extended editions with all new material that we either didn't end up having time to record originally, or stuff that got cut for time. For a good example, just tonight we recorded a brand new opening for the Black Agnes story that I'm so freaking excited about, because ever since we didn't end up getting it into the story, I've just felt so upset about it. I love the story the way it is in the episode.
But,
don't get me wrong.
We try to keep them at the most to like an hour, and there's a time constraints.
So these new releases that we're going to be doing over the next few months of some of these stories, even some of the season 3 stories, like the Peter Moore Man in Black story, we've got an extended edition of that, extended edition of the Tex Watson story, the Charles Whitman story that opens season 4. So yeah, but they're going to be exactly what I said, director's cut extended edition.
Sort of on their own.
And so if you guys enjoy them, you can find them, and they don't have to be, for the people that maybe just want to hear the commentaries, this is just a way to sort of work on that.
It's also, as a byproduct of a change that's going to be sort of happening here for the second half of the 4th season as we continue,
and then probably just onward.
The episodes will start getting separated. The drama, the radio dramas, the intro stories will be their own video, and then our review of the movie we're covering will be its own video. They will still go up at the same time.
Yep.
But to make a long story short, it's just the hoops we have to jump through with the different platforms for whatever reason. When we combine those elements, it's really hard. And when we separate them, it makes life easy for us. And also then, it's sort of a little easier for you guys to pick and choose what, you want to listen to at what time.
Joe and I hesitate to lay on you guys a lot of the sort of behind the scenes nonsense that we have to deal with when working within some of these platforms. There's a lot of restrictions. Our first 2 seasons, the funny thing is we were such a small show that we just flew right under the radar. We had whole movies. We have episodes where there is entire movies on the screen from start to finish to this day. Yeah. And back then we thought the world was our oyster. You can do anything you want on YouTube. When you start to grow an audience and start to grow your subscriber count, you start to make ad revenue for the platform, and they start becoming much more involved because they want to entice advertisers to be interested in the content you're creating. And of course, I hate that word content, but just for the sake of conversation, because I do not ever refer to what Joe and I create as content. That's not what we do. Joe and I are deeply, spiritually creative. And creating this show for you guys is every bit of our heart. Like, and
we're
so,
doing everything to fight them
Yeah.
trying to make us like everybody else, just two guys
you
talking on a screen
It's
with
not-
no other elements added to
yeah,
it.
and it's not
but,
really YouTube. It's
you know,
it's Google, the
yeah,
parent company.
We're able to put the episodes up, okay, but what they're kind of doing to make, again, to boil it down, is they start limiting who can see our episodes if they feel like there's too much negative content.
Yeah.
And when you do like
Yeah,
a
we've been dealing
3-hour
with a lot
plus
of that.
episode, they feel like that is too much. This is all negative content to them. So we have to separate them.
And like Joe
but
said,
everything will still be there like normal.
I think the best aspect of separating the episodes into two parts, releasing them exactly the same time, but just in two parts, part 1 and part 2, is exactly what you said. A listener like you can choose the way you want to engage with the episode. If you only want to check out the parts from where Joe and I come in, and Joe, up until the very end when I say, and have a very happy Halloween, you guys can just listen to that. If some of you just enjoy listening to stories, well, now you can just do that. Or you can listen to the story and then the commentary. Do whatever you want. But I insist that you understand that however you want to take in our episodes, it's up to you, and it does not offend Joe and I. If you don't like the stories and you don't want to listen to them, that doesn't bother Joe and I one bit. If you don't like the commentaries and only like the stories, it doesn't bother Joe and I one bit. We just are trying to find any way we can to create our show exactly our way without making any compromises or changes, which is a major reason why from the jump, even now that we've grown substantially, Joe and I do not take even 1 penny out of this show. We do not take any of the ad revenue.
We are not in
nothing,
their
zero,
their
zilch.
partnership program, whatever they
But
call
make
it.
no mistake, if you've listened to the show, you hear the ads. Somebody is making money from
Oh,
our
yeah,
labor.
there's ads
no
on
doubt
our
about
stuff,
that. 'Cause
so-
our,
Hey,
yeah, we have a lot of advertising.
Really quick, hello Mega Man. Thank you for
Oh,
checking
thank
out
you.
your first live chat. Yes, a long
Your
time
first-
listener.
You know what it is? My eyes are such shit at 52 years old.
You can
that-
bring this one
no,
closer
No, the
if you
funny
want.
thing is Joe went ahead and moved he moved a screen directly in front of me because
He
of
has
this
his
very
own
reason,
screen over there.
and I still can't frickin' see it.
Oh, we're getting old.
Yeah.
But hello, welcome. Yeah, and sometimes the last point I want to make on that was that when we sometimes put up a date when an episode is going to air and suddenly it doesn't appear on that day, maybe the next day, again, that is not us.
No.
We always have our stuff done in
Our
time.
most recent episode, if you guys notice, our episodes, especially this season, have been performing really well.
Yeah.
We've been so thrilled with the amount of views we've been getting and the wonderful response we've been hearing from people. And of course, that's the currency that Joe and I get out of the show, is the success of our hard labors and our hard work.
Oh my God.
And if you look at the most recent episode, it has like 500 views.
Well, that was the one that got hit hardest.
Yeah.
That's what made us
It's
officially
essentially
make this
shadow
change.
banned for a lot of
because
people
they
around
are
the world.
limiting the hell out of that video for whatever reason. So,
Yeah.
hey, if anyone's got any pull, share our last full episode. Was it 39?
Yeah.
So, like, because they hit us hard, and that's why we're separating, really, because
So yeah, going forward, starting with the very next episode, which will be Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning.
yes, I just actually got my Blu-ray in today. I'm excited to start really diving into it and absorbing the commentaries. And this is the point, I will admit, in the franchise where it's all new to me. I had only seen up to the remake before, and then nothing else grabbed me enough to want to keep watching.
Nothing like doing a podcast about movies neither of us have actually probably watched all that
well,
much. But
hey, I mean, I'm being honest. That's what I'm saying.
I think there's a,
so,
but, you know,
but,
I
but
think there
sometimes
can be.
that's good. I
that's
mean,
absolutely
yeah.
fine because what we share is our perspective on the movie.
But
what
we're
difference does it
talking
make
about
when
the
you
franchise,
saw it?
so I'm watching it within the
Yeah.
franchise. It's you know, maybe a little different than if you had seen it back in the day. But hey, we do. I almost do the same thing for every single movie we do in terms of the research. How many times I try to watch it before we're sitting down to do our commentary. Some movies that of course I've seen since I was a kid have a built-in memory bank of years that it's in there, but.
Yeah.
I still will watch every one of these multiple times.
Oh, Joe is has micro focus all month
every
with these
time
films.
as I'm listening to a commentary,
Yeah.
I'm watching it again as well as listening to it, and I try to get my hands on every commentary possible. For you film buffs, I don't know if this is common knowledge, But there's this great website I go to. It's just called Blu-ray.com, and you type in whatever movie you want, and it literally shows you every single release that there has been for your movie that's come out on Blu-ray or DVD over the years. So you can see if there's some weird version or some small art house put it out with some extra commentary. It'll be there, and you can go hunt it down. But it's a good way to know what's available.
Speaking of physical media, can you have access to that new edition of Explorers you got? Guys, look at how beautiful this is.
We've talked about my love for Explorers before on the show.
Now, who put this out?
This is from a company called Vinegar Syndrome.
Okay.
And I also got their Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 release.
Which was also really beautiful.
And they have great artwork.
There's Show them the back, too.
There's a book inside. And, they really did take their time to clean up the print and put out the best possible version.
And tell them what you told me about the shape of the the ship.
So, the most current version before this was a Scream Factory release, where they also did a great print restoration and everything. But a common problem with the film, if you know it well, is that if you really look at the geometry of everything in the movie, there's a lot of things that should be a perfect sphere. But when you watched the movie over the years, it's a little ovalish. Well, Vinegar Syndrome, rescanned everything, got it the right ratios, everything's the right shape. That. And, if you like that movie, you got to get the Vinegar Syndrome release,
Joe and I were also discussing before we started rolling the upcoming Day of the Dead restoration, Scream Factory, and
yes,
how exciting that is going to be to check out.
A good friend of mine was
Jeff Rowland,
really in charge of kind of putting that together, and it's too bad a documentary wasn't made about what it took for my buddy Jeff to track down the right print of Day of the Dead, because of course there was the remake, and it really kind of opened my eyes through working for Scream Factory and my buddy Jeff. What happens to films that are bought by all these different companies when they get released for different releases,
like
Blu-ray,
physical media
DVDs,
releases,
VHS, everything over the years, and then they go to like storage facilities, warehouse, basements, and then companies will just go bankrupt, and then a lot of these movies just get forgotten about or just sent somewhere completely unlabeled, and so Jeff was that guy. Like, he dug through every box, every possible place. He ran into more times than not that it was the remake, even though it was labeled that these whatever storage facility should have had the original print. Mm-hmm. And he was actually able to get like about as good as you're going to get in terms of an original sort of master print of this thing floating around to clean up and get right, and all the colors and the effects. And you got it. If you like Day of the Dead,
wow, Texafire just dropped a very hot take.
Okay.
Texafire, quote, "I used to hate Day of the Dead, but it's grown on me." Wow.
Are you referencing the original Day of the Dead, Texafire?
I'm assuming he's speaking just about the film itself.
Yeah.
I know that there are a lot of even Romero heads that it doesn't rate at the top spot. But for me, Day of the Dead is my favorite of his original films, like his earlier catalog, especially that original trilogy. I adore Dawn of the Dead. But I got to say, what puts Day of the Dead over the top for me is two things. The weird change in locale to Florida that sort of bothers a lot of people, taking Romero and the Dead universe out of Pittsburgh, especially down to like balmy Florida, where there's like an alligator walking around. I love how different it is, that underground military base. So that change in locale is really appealing to me. But more than anything else, it's the score, that weird electronic score. I think it's by John Harrison, and hopefully I'm getting that name right. That's like chef's kiss. Love it.
I mean, how many times does a score save a movie, or like just ultra enhance it and make it like,
And of course, somebody mentioned Bub. You got Howard Sherman, or Sherman Howard, depending on the day.
Yeah.
Apparently, on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, he's Howard Sherman. On Fridays, Saturdays, and some alternating Mondays during leap years, he's Sherman Howard. If you want to line him up for a con visit. Hopefully he's still alive. I think he's still alive.
We're doing the cream soda Dr. Pepper today.
Yes,
If you're keeping up
Haddonfield
with
Radio
with the
today
sodas.
is brought to you by the effervescent, refreshing taste of Dr. Pepper cream soda. If you want a little cream in your mouth, a little cream on your lips, look no further than the doctor. Watch the doctor unbutton his pants, get a little of his cream in your lips, and take it from there. Don't tell your parents or the authorities. That girl, there was that girl who she went viral making her own Dr. Pepper jingle, and she got like a 6-figure deal to create it for Dr. Pepper.
You think that's
Why? Do you think
that's
Dr.
worthy?
Pepper might call me?
I don't know.
I should at least get $40-$50 for that.
With
I don't
your
need 6
singing, I
figures.
want to mention though that the song at the very beginning with Mike Haddonfield's art with the countdown,
Oh yeah,
that was from our old band from 20 years ago.
cringe. We can't say the name of the band.
No, well, we'll just move on.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
Anyway.
Anyway, so
Wow.
yeah,
Oh, that's done.
gotta love. What else? Let's see. Anything going on in chat? Find a happy place. Find a happy place. Oh God, I spent a lot of time in the old woodshed as a child.
Hey, we need to give a little shout out to a member of the Haddonfield Radio family, someone who's been on our show, live
is something
streams
really
and
cool.
stuff.
Yeah.
Mr. Keith Voss,
Right.
a Friday the 13th expert, aficionado, everything. The man knows
Actually,
everything.
just one of the most passionate horror fans that I've certainly ever known in my life.
So he's co-hosting this podcast, Jason Conquers, the Friday the 13th podcast. They delve into just everything related to the Friday the 13th franchise, the world, from obviously the movies, the stories, down to the merchandising, what's coming out. Obviously, we have the new series coming out. That there's a lot of news.
Yes.
That I'm sure they'll be relaying as they go on. I believe the first episode just came out. It's great. I think there's just one right now.
The first episode was just released within like the last 48 hours for our listeners in the present.
It's on YouTube. There's the channel. Please go check it out.
I love the title of the podcast,
Yeah,
Jason
yeah.
Conquers.
Yeah.
And the first episode is really cool. Keith and his co-host, and I'm sadly blanking on his name. They talk about like a lot about the video game lore of Friday the 13th. A lot of like the sort of interesting side details of the franchise's history. That's what's kind of covered in the first episode. And I found it very immersive. I actually listened to it while I was out on a walk, and I really enjoyed their company. And I'm honest to God, I can't wait for the next episode. So if you guys enjoyed maybe our season 3 episodes and you want something else that covers the Friday the 13th
that want to
podcast.
keep going into that franchise. Like Keith,
This is perfect.
he's just one of those guys. You listen to him, like he's so knowledgeable. It rolls out of him, like the amount of info and the things
And
he knows.
his co-host is equally knowledgeable.
Yeah, I mean, so go check it out. Fun guys to listen to. And,
really good stuff.
Again, Keith,
Right
you
on
find
YouTube.
Keith on a few of our shows, and always a friend to the Haddonfield Radio family. Keith
Absolutely.
is. So
Do
go
we want
check
to
it
talk
out.
about those movies? What do we want to do here?
I think we could. You want to?
What else do you want to? What else do you want to do?
Well,
You got something else here? What else? Let's see. What else you got?
Let's see.
What do you got in that lineup over there? Those show notes.
No, yep, we got. Well, you know what? Before we talk about those,
Okay.
remember I brought up a fun, just sort of like a horror movie I saw with my daughter.
Oh yeah,
my
that's
daughter
right.
Taylor. Sometimes it's great. She's in her late 20s, and she can just absorb like B-level horror like no one else I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like she just eats up anything that's kind of on almost the crappy side. But through that, I find some really good gems and stuff.
Yeah.
And not that this is crap at all, but it was a newer film. It's just sort of like a fun roller coaster ride. It was called Until Dawn.
Based on the video game.
I didn't even realize that. And
And it's actually David Sandberg who directed it. He's pretty talented. He created the original short film of is it called Lights Out? And then he made a feature film out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did one of the Conjuring universe movies as well. I want to say one of the Annabelle movies, I think.
Okay.
But talented guy.
yeah.
But you had a good time with it.
No, yeah. If you want to just have fun with it and like there's a lot of concepts you've seen in a lot of other horror movies, kind of melded in this. But the one thing that he does that is,
what the heck was that? What the heck?
Hello, everyone. That's my son back
Where?
there.
I don't see him.
That's Ty. He's up in the
Come
stairs,
down here.
bathed in
Come
red
down
light.
here, Ty. If you
Apparently.
guys saw one of our season 3 ads last season, he was the star.
Jason Takes
here.
Manhattan.
All the way
the
over
ad
here. Come
for,
on over. This is Joe's son, Ty.
future YouTube star himself.
Yep. He's going to be creating his own channel.
Yep, he's a gamer. Loves to game. And,
I like your NASA shirt.
Yeah.
Look how tall you've gotten.
It's
Good
happening,
Lord.
folks.
Stop
Yeah,
growing
I know.
already.
Oh my God.
Slow it down. Enjoy your life while you're young.
So thank you for being the troll on the stairs for us.
Yeah, that actually literally frightened me because I turned and I still didn't see anybody over there. That was the creepy part.
Well, he did great when we made that ad.
Yep.
Like he, never acting, but he
Mike
did
Hatfield is saying hello to you right now.
Oh, look at that.
Anything you want to say to Mike Hatfield?
Mike sent us those comic books. I
Okay,
think around
there's
Christmas
that.
Time,
There's
if
that.
you remember. Anyway, thank you, Ty.
Yeah, appreciate
Thanks
that.
for saying hello.
That was a lot of
that was
fun. Thank you.
wonderful. It was only a matter of time.
Cameo appearance. Hey, this is life on YouTube, kid. Get used to it.
But Until Dawn, the thing that was great was the concept that really quickly, without giving too much away, the people are being attacked by something and they sort of die and they keep getting resurrected and they have to make it till dawn if they're going to make it out of this loop. But the cool thing is that every night something different comes for them, and
It sounded almost like Cabin in the Woods in a way. I was saying to you earlier.
Yeah, I mean it's in that vibe, but it was the great thing was it was a real range of like just from like a guy, with a machete type of thing, to these very unearthly creatures flying through the sky. Anyway, nothing mind-blowing, but I had fun with it. Made my hairs jump up once or twice,
And I love that you have this connection with your daughter through horror.
God.
And you and Joe, he likes to watch what she's interested in watching. He's
We
not
go
trying
back
to,
and forth.
Yeah, so that's great.
I show her the classics.
I love that.
And then she's like,
She
hey,
shows you what she's into.
And she's also like, it kind of lets me know too, like what. Because she's also going to the theater and seeing them with her friends,
She's
so
really
I'm like,
passionate.
what do you guys, what did you like? What's popular? What have you guys seen more than once? What are you excited to have come to streaming? And
House of Horror asked, what were our thoughts on Backrooms? Perfect question because another movie that's just exactly on everybody's minds right now. It leads us to actually a bunch of different things to talk about. If you look at Curry Barker, who made Obsession, and of course Kane Parsons, who used to on YouTube be called Kane Pixels, who made the Backrooms movie and the original YouTube shorts that sort of inspired the film. The commonality in the news story angle of it is here are these YouTubers who have now they've run in now, have taken over Hollywood, almost like the Maverick auteurs did in the 70s, like Spielberg and Scorsese and Coppola and all them, Lucas. I've noticed the mainstream kind of like entertainment media has sort of positioned guys like Curry Barker and Kane Parsons.
It's what's hot right now
as this hot new wave.
Well, think about it. Film is fairly stale on the whole Hollywood film.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So they found something that is hot
That's
and
energizing the base.
and it's different.
Yet,
And these aren't the Hollywood guys. So,
regardless of what I think of either of those movies, I find it kind of sad in my mind, and I'm just speaking my own opinion here. I'm sort of bothered by their decision to simply abandon YouTube for Hollywood in a way. To make YouTube appear to almost have been a stepping stone. To me, it feels like
it probably
creators
is.
that are
I mean-
abandoning the future to run to the past. That's what's been in my craw about these guys.
Well, I think it's gonna be tough to find people whose horizon is only through YouTube type entertainment.
And here's the thing.
Everyone wants the chance to make a movie that's going to go into a theater.
Both of those films
if you're given it,
got theatrical exhibition, wide release, like you just mentioned. So there's a lot of glory and a lot of excitement in that. Both of them have made an extreme amount of money. I mean, Obsession was made for less than $1 million, has made now well over $400 million in theaters, okay? Yeah. And that's just the beginning of its ability to make money over the years to come. So, yes, I get it. But the minute either one of those two filmmakers has a misstep,
Well, you also
Just happened
Yeah, of
with
course.
Osgood Perkins.
But you also have to remember
Osgood Perkins makes Long Legs, and he's looked at like, well, here's the next big name in horror.
I believe
When Keeper didn't have the same kind of penetration into the pop culture, even though I thought Keeper was utterly brilliant and fascinating, it drove Osgood Perkins' stock down a little bit, obviously.
Yeah.
My problem is, you know that saying, you can't go home again?
Right.
You can't come running back to YouTube later.
But forgive me if I'm wrong here, but I believe like Obsession and I mean not Obsession. Yes, Obsession and
Backrooms.
Iron Lung is different, but with like Obsession, like that was a product of the studio going to him and saying,
Yep.
Come make this. This wasn't him going to the studio saying, there's a little different. So he might you could still have a future in streaming platforms and all that. This was them coming to him with an opportunity. I just worry
for really creative people.
It might not get better.
Like those two guys. Yeah. Because I loved both of those films.
Oh, yeah.
I will say this about Backrooms and about Kane Parsons. I will say this right here now. I'll put this on the record here. If he continues making Backrooms movies, though, however, he will destroy what he's created, that is Backrooms up to this point. Yeah. He will demystify it to the point where it no longer has the exact same gravitas and value that built it up to the point to get a movie in the first place. Yeah. Yeah. And that's another thing you can't go back again on. You can't rebuild the mystique of something. Now, I also am someone who always believes everything in creativity needs to always evolve and flow and adapt. And so I totally understand that instinct to want to go to movies, go to Hollywood. Hollywood's always been the art form of the masses. Yeah. But I would argue that not anymore. YouTube is much more that. And YouTube is almost like slowly restoring the monoculture that has been ebbed away to the detriment of just culture itself.
The Hollywood filmmaking system has lost the thing that it once had in the early 60s, say, of kind of letting filmmakers experiment more, just see what works, willing to just, let them go for it. All the guys that would become the big Hollywood guys, they were just coming out of college and all this stuff, and there was a lot of weird stuff going on, and that is gone.
Yeah.
And YouTube is sort of filling that space for those guys who are going to go on maybe to be Hollywood guys.
Yep.
But
they are now Hollywood guys. There's no doubt about that. As a matter of fact, what got me thinking about this is I wish I had found it in advance to kind of bring it and put it up on the screen, but you can Google this and find it. Very recently, during the promotional tour for Obsession, Curry Barker made it a very big point in numerous different interviews to make sure that he made an open distinction that he does not consider himself a YouTuber. He used YouTube to them was the widest platform with the most value for the type of creativity they were trying to share with people. So
you can't begrudge him that. That's his plan. That's fine. His way, right?
I get it. But I still think it's just...
What you got to worry is, are you a one-hit wonder? Like, did you come out of the gate, swinging a little too hard? Like, it's great. Obsession's great. But now everything's going to get judged against that.
Oh, it's going to be horrific for him. Even if...
I mean, he's about to do Texas Chainsaw Massacre, right?
He actually has.
He has a franchise.
He has another movie that he's basically already completed. Yeah. That will come out between the Obsession and whatever he does with Chainsaw. Yeah. And I think it's called Anything But Ghosts, and I think like Aaron Paul is in it and a few other people. I don't know if it's completely finished, but I know it's getting a release. And no matter how they sell it or how it's marketed, it's going to center around the director of Obsession. Yeah.
Well, I'll say this.
You can't recreate what Obsession has done. You will never recreate
the interviews I've seen with him, I will say that he's a confident filmmaker.
Of course.
He's young that young, and
the work that him and his partner have done on YouTube is it's comedy, but it's exceptionally sharp.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's exceptionally well made and intelligently made.
Yeah. He's not winging it.
Oh no, these guys are exceptionally talented creators. No doubt. Don't get me wrong. I'm not disparaging their work at all.
Now skipping over to Iron Lung, now do you think someone like Markiplier has it to do more of that? Or was that a just a guy who put his all into something, has some great success with it, but
that's a really
does
good
he have
question.
plans to continue to be a filmmaker? Is that something he's wanted to do?
That's another good question.
Or did he just want to make this.
Did any of you guys have a chance to watch Markiplier's independent film Iron Lung? It did get into some theaters through, I think, maybe Fathom events, but now you can watch it through Markiplier's YouTube channel, I think, for like $4. And clearly, if you want to do it that way, you can find it a lot of other places for no bucks. But I don't like to do that. But anyway, just obviously, if you guys haven't watched it,
get it on YouTube. It was.
You should check it out and watch it. It's
It's weird. Like I guess it's horror, but it's not.
It's definitely horror. There's no doubt.
But it's horror in the same way, like you can say that Alien can be sci-fi or horror.
Okay,
like it rides that line.
You're right.
To me,
you're absolutely right.
I kind of kept waiting for the horror aspect to get amped up a little bit more than it did.
Mm-hmm.
It was more sci-fi to me,
and you know what?
Than horror, but the horror aspect was pretty awesome.
I think unlike the other few movies we were talking about, like Obsession or Backrooms, Iron Lung, in my mind, is not for everyone. It's not a movie that's going to...
I'm so sorry. I hit the wrong
Apparently,
thing.
he did not want me to start saying that.
Oh, my God.
No, it is
I
not...
meant to hit this.
It's not for everyone. It is a very pacey movie that takes its time developing the story it's trying to tell in a meticulously, almost nuanced and slow, measured way.
It's my only criticism, and it's a light criticism, would be that you could probably have shortened it a little bit. I only find myself at the very end kind of
getting a little restless,
just clicking where we were in the time.
Yeah.
But everything he did was masterful, and in like some of the camera work is so good. And then, I didn't realize it was based on a video game. I watched the movie, and then I sort of kind of see the making of, and you learn about the video game. And it was so cool to see how they were able to translate that very
Which is nothing like graphics. The movie. Yeah.
Well, but I mean, it's the sub, it's the same controls. Yeah. And then you kind of...
But I mean, the aesthetics of the original game is so different. Of course,
it is. But the sub, you're in there, it's still got that video game. Like, if you've played the game, you understand how that sub works before any of us do. It took you a minute to kind of, figure
I was
it
just
out with
like
him.
Vibing with being in that submarine with him and just spending time with him. I don't know. I was in it. I was immersed.
I would say it's magical for, some a green filmmaker to be successful as a director, as the main... I mean,
well, keep in mind, this is one of the most iconic YouTube creators in history.
I understand, but he's good at acting. He's good at directing. He, the writing, the translating, because the universe in the video game is a bit different than what he fleshed out for his movie. When you really break it down, the video game is kind of bleak.
Yeah.
You don't. It doesn't end with the sort of hopeful ending that you get out of the movie. It's basically game over in the game. No pun intended.
I thought that it has one of the best, recent movie monsters, the eel.
Oh yeah.
And when you start to understand what this creature is and what it's comprised of, and you get that uncanny, eerie feeling, it worked for me. But again, one of our someone in chat, Texifier, Iron Lung wasn't for me. Totally understand that.
I will say
totally understand that.
The one other problem I had was that the sort of backstory that you kind of get, he tries to present a lot of it in the movie. It wasn't until I saw sort of a breakdown of the video game and the how the universe worked, sort of leading into the events of what we see in the movie. That's how it all kind of got pieced together for me. What was that the technology in that history developed differently than here. So it's not like a future version of us that ended up in space. It's like in the 60s we were already developing space stations. In the 70s. So it's like a different a tangent of our own universe.
It felt like almost like very Lovecraftian to me, obviously too, and it had that just Iron Lung. I don't know. it just worked for me.
It did. I liked it. It held my attention.
Yeah, I
It
enjoyed
had.
it. It's the most
If you enjoy any
blood
of those
in any movie, I think the
God,
movie it
yeah.
toppled, for the record, was the 2013 Evil Dead for the most amount of practical blood ever used in
it
a
is
motion
bloody,
picture.
yeah.
And I was like, as somebody
Not
who's
glory,
been on film
but
sets,
bloody.
I cannot imagine what it must have been like to spend all that time sticky and covered in all. It must have been brutal to film that movie.
I mean, it's in the vein of any of those sci-fi sort of classics of the guy solo in space,
yeah.
having to figure out, even though he's not in space, but he's solo in a vehicle, doesn't kind of really understand his mission. In a weird way, because I just watched Project Hail Mary. It kind of reminded me. I mean, I watched them almost back to back.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing. I'm like, I'm watching two guys sort of do this, like,
Oh yeah, that's
I
a
have
very
to figure out what my
interesting
mission is
commonality.
and how this ship works and how this, and it was, I don't know, it was kind of a,
That's a movie that absolutely did not work for me. Project Hail Mary. It's one of the few movies in the last couple of years that I broke one of my cardinal rules, which I usually don't shut movies off. Once I start a movie, I usually will sit there and finish it, even if I'm not liking it.
I had the opposite where I stopped it because I wasn't anticipating watching it then. I just
Oh.
clicked on it because me and my wife were just hanging
Yeah.
out in the room. And then all of a sudden we were both got so sucked in and we knew we couldn't finish it. So we said, well, let's stop it. Probably about, I don't know, almost an hour in. But we were digging it up until that
most
point,
people
you
do.
know?
Most people do. Most people absolutely do. Going back to Obsession, one thing I do want to say, if I did have, not really a negative, but just an observation, and I wrote down some of these as I was watching it. I don't know if any of you guys noticed this, but it was sort of almost like an amalgamation of a lot of the elements of a number of other very modern sort of horror classics. And I was making a list. I had Smile, Talk to Me. I mean,
I had the feel of
the
all
one
those...
wish willow is the
Yeah.
stick that you crack to enable this witchcraft or whatever you want to call it. Think about the movie Weapons. It's so
Weapons, yeah.
strange. In almost the exact same year, you have a witch that has to snap a stick to engage with some sort of magical power. Very weird. I noticed a lot of similarity with the movie from a few years back called David Robert Mitchell's It Follows.
Yeah.
That has some similarities in there. Hereditary, the idea of shadowy people in the corner of the room that when you first look at the image, you don't notice. Of course, that famous image from Hereditary where Toni Collette is actually up in the corner of the room in shadow. Until you see that slight trickle or weird little movement, you don't really even notice her there. Well, Obsession used even very almost identical imagery. I also noticed Get Out was another one that came to mind with the idea of being trapped. Oh, somebody has hypnotically trapped you within your own body and has depowered you so that they can take advantage of you. So that was, and also in Get Out, how about the maid in Get Out that does that now kind of infamous eerie laugh? Totally reminded me of plot elements of Obsession.
I mean,
I'm not saying it really as a negative.
No, he's using classic horror tropes in a very, very good way.
But yet they are exceptionally like razor's edge contemporary.
I shouldn't
tropes.
say classic. You're right. I should say
they're modern
what's
horror classic.
modern? What's been working lately?
Like Talk to Me. You have the mysterious kind of haunted artifact.
I love
that enables people to have these horrifying powers and engage with and encounter horrifying entities and power. I find it really interesting that Curry Barker is very, and in the actors as well, they're really, really hard about, and really serious about making sure audiences understand this is not a possession movie.
Right.
Because I have to admit, when I was first watching it, I was taking it as a possession movie. But hearing more different kinds of analysis. One of my favorite film analysts of all time is a guy named Rob Ager. He's a YouTuber. His channel is called Collative Learning. If you check it out, or if you just YouTube, Google search Rob Ager, you'll find him. He, just a couple weeks ago, did an incredible analysis of the movie Obsession on his channel that is really brilliant. And he brings up a lot of very interesting subliminal kind of aspects of this film that really are the hallmarks of an excellent director. Make no mistake, Curry Barker is a masterful talent in writing and in directing, because Obsession to me is really beautifully directed.
It is
more than anything else.
It goes back to like he's a very confident director. They filmed Obsession in 20 days, so he couldn't afford to be playing around and whatnot. So he had everything storyboarded, prevised. He knew how he was going to edit scenes, going to shooting them, to save time by not always having to film full, scenes out with every actor. He knew, one of the biggest things that always gets films, right? You always hear is like time and money, right? And he didn't let that become a factor for him, even though he only had a little bit of time and a little bit of money. Mm-hmm. He just learned to maximize what he had ahead of time so he could go in and execute everything he did very, very well.
The lighting setups in Obsession are world class. People will be talking about the use of shadow in Obsession for generations, quite simply. It is a horror. There's no doubt in my mind this is, in fact, a horror classic that we're seeing being revealed in front of us. Mm-hmm. Whether you enjoyed the movie or not, I think any cinephile would probably agree that this is not just a great contemporary horror film. I think this is a new classic that will stand the test of time. But go ahead.
When she comes to the door, in the beginning of her sort of change, sort of like the poster that's there, where she's pretty much in shadow, but you get this just glint.
That glint is done so brilliantly.
Oh my God, it's so well done. I will say, and I was bringing this up to you before we went on, that I agree that it's lit and looks beautiful. I'm so curious though about the camera work. To me, it's a little, I don't know, in a way it gives a sort of unsettling sense because of the way
that it's kind of blocked and
the way the director of photography sort of composes all his shots. There's always, I think, more headroom than most
and that
classic,
could be to create that, like you said, like a subconscious
it's like
dissonance in your way you're feeling.
It almost makes you feel like you're more witness to something than you're in a movie that's being shot like, perfectly. But for me, and I don't know if it's because like my job is a cameraman, but it's unsettling because I want to like kind of almost fix the camera like the whole time. And I don't know if that happens to other people, if everyone else notices it, but it sort of, for me, it wasn't a negative. It added to this. And I've been wondering if it was done on purpose.
You know what just occurred to me?
To be unsettling. It was definitely done on purpose.
I always notice is the tighter the shot, the more safety you feel when you're watching a horror movie as an audience member, because there's less that can permeate the outer edges of the frame. The more space you give in a horror movie to a character, the more subliminal space there is for something to enter the frame and startle or scare you. And anyone who loves horror movies and goes to a movie theater to watch a horror movie is there for the same reason someone who loves comedies goes to a comedy, because every 8 minutes you're going to get a scare, or every 8 minutes you're going to get a laugh. It doesn't surprise me one bit that these guys came out of the world of comedy on YouTube, like with the exception of their like YouTube films that are like a little bit under feature film length, like Milk and Cereal that they made for YouTube. All of their best material on their That's a Bad Idea YouTube channel is like short subject comedy. But as we've talked about so many times over the years, and as all film fans know, comedies and horror movies are like kissing cousins. The genres are related.
Oh, yeah.
The design of a horror movie and the design of a comedy movie is almost mirrored image.
And Barker, right? His last
Curry Barker.
He talks about that too when he's about this, how, because he did a lot of comedy stuff, in his YouTube days, and how it was kind of similar to when you're doing these kind of over the top extreme things.
Well, look, it's funny. Look at Zach Kreger, who made Barbarian and Weapons. He comes out of The Whitest Kids You Know, a comedy troupe. It is not uncommon for there to be sort of transference and genre fluidity between that. To me, it doesn't surprise
McBride
me.
with
Danny
the new
McBride,
Halloween movies.
exactly.
And he's going around. What's he saying? He just wrote
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe movie. I kind of want to see that.
Interesting,
anyway.
like Max Landis, the son of John Landis, really talented writer, really talented comic book writer and screenwriter. But of course, as some of you may know, he ran into a lot of like cancel culture stuff over like the COVID era and sort of got canceled out of his screenwriting career. Well, now, as you see sort of happening, he's slowly kind of moving back into his position. I guess his cancellation time. He's been in timeout long enough. As some of these people, some people get to come back. If you're Kevin Spacey, you don't. But if you're Max Landis, I guess you do. And Paramount, I guess, hired him and Danny McBride to both develop G.I. Joe. And
together?
No, separately. Two separate ideas. Yeah. And they went with the Danny McBride one, at least to this next level of development. Yeah. But Danny McBride, he is a very talented writer. Yeah. And he just put out his first book of short stories. Oh. So just because he comes out of comedy, it's easy to sort of have a short-sighted sense of his talent. Sure. But I'm very curious what a Danny McBride screenplay of a G.I. Joe film. It's actually a really great time to be a G.I. Joe or a Transformers fan. If you guys follow comics, it's basically the greatest time in history for those franchises. The Joshua Williamson Image comic version of G.I. Joe and the Image comic version of Transformers and Void Rivals, there's like an Energon universe out of Image Comics, and it's like the best those franchises have ever been right now. Nice. And they've even incorporated Mask now.
That's been making a comeback. I'm seeing that everywhere lately.
I've read the first 2 issues of the new Dan Waters Image Comics run of Mask, and I would never have guessed they could incorporate body horror into Mask, but they do it brilliantly.
I remember it being around, but I never watched it or bought the toys for Mask.
Mike Hatfield, Christian, those comics are so good. Yeah. Joshua Williamson's run on G.I. Joe is the best it's ever been since the classic days of like Larry Hama. Yeah. And of course, that he's had runs even in more recent years, Larry Hama, but Joshua Williamson is like born to write G.I. Joe. But Dan Waters, through Image Comics, released his own sort of book on Destro, the character, and it's so good if you guys want to check something out in the comic space.
The weather
dominator. The Energon universe under Robert Kirkman at Image Comics right now is just firing on all cylinders, and it's not just for like the nostalgia of those properties. It's not just for like the kid in you. They've taken these classic 80s iconic IPs and sort of brought them into the 2020s in such a special and fun way. So if you like comics, it's certainly one of the best things going on in comics right now.
Well, everything's being catered to guys our age, from all those old things that from our youth. It's toys, comics, everything's being made for us, not kids any kind of right now. But
yet, with those particular comics, especially the Daniel Warren Johnson original run of the Image Comics Transformers, what they do so brilliantly is they appeal to the nostalgic heart of the original audience while having so much new material to grow new audience members and new fans going forward with younger readers and younger crowds. I don't know, man. Look, if you guys follow comics, you probably already know G.I. Joe and Transformers have always had a very distinctly successful life within comics. Mm-hmm. Just like I would use a good example is the Alien franchise. Mm-hmm. The Alien franchise and the Predator franchise, they have legendary runs in comics that stretch right into the current era. In fact, anybody who's looking to extend certain kinds of IPs into different formats, they should look at what they've done with the Alien franchise or the Predator franchise from film to the printed page. Because going all the way back to like the Dark Horse comic days, the old Predator versus Alien comics, up until literally now.
Those comics kind of is what gave the push to be able to make more movies that were more based on the the offshoots of those franchises.
A lot of the wilder ideas that you see in the more recent Predator and Alien movies that might feel a little out of left field to the fans that have simply only ever known the movies, a lot of that stuff comes directly out of those comic book runs. Yeah. Like right now, Marvel has a license for the Alien franchise, and they have been hitting banger after banger on every release. I try to collect it all. I'm one of these people. I'm at the comic book shop every Wednesday morning, every new release day. I'm over at my LCS, which is Black Hole Comics in Norwood, Massachusetts. If you guys are ever around that area and you want to find me in the wild, if it's 10 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday, I'm at Black Hole Comics getting my weekly comics. So anyway, I love it.
Hey, going back in the chat just a little bit, what did you ever think of the movie Behind the Mask?
Leslie Vernon?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a classic.
And I
Stone cold
you
classic.
saw that they're making another.
Yep, which will probably be terrible.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully it's,
And I'm not rooting against it, but I don't know how you continue Behind the Mask. Up until Behind the Mask, I think the best version of that kind of movie was probably Man Bites Dog. And yet, Behind the Mask just curb stomps Man Bites Dog. Behind the Mask is one of the best metatextual horror films I think that has been made in the last 30 years at least. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's sort of sad more people don't see Behind the Mask as sort of like a real like signpost movie like the way Scream was when it came out, because I'm also surprised there aren't more sort of movies like Behind the Mask that sort of distort the slasher genre and take it apart and rebuild it.
It was a great take.
Like Behind the Mask to me is like when you used to take apart G.I. Joe, speaking of G.I. Joe, and then you'd rebuild different arms and legs and heads and make brand new characters. Like Behind the Mask takes all the elements of what you love in all the slasher films and makes this brand new film that stands on its own merits as a special film in and of itself. Love it. Love the performances. Robert Englund. Love the whole. I wish I could think of the name of the actor in the lead that plays Leslie Vernon. Let's look it up.
Maybe we'll have to do a very special episode, like I believe it was Mike Hatfield that was suggesting.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Get in line though, because I've been asking for 3 years to do a Blair Witch project, like 4-hour deep dive, and I'm still pushing for that special. I said we'll do it as a trailer park, and I don't just mean Blair Witch 1. I mean Blair Witch, Book of Shadows. Go up through the Adam Wingard remake, not remake, but reset or reboot or requel, whatever you want to call it. But I don't know about you guys, but I am deeply, continuously fascinated by the lore and the history of the making of the Blair Witch, and not just the lore that was created for the film, but the lore of the Blair Witch Project as a movie. You know what? It's actually funny that popped into my mind, because it's a perfect comparison to these filmmakers like Curry Barker, or especially someone like Kane Parsons out of YouTube. Look at Edward Myrick and I'm thinking, what are their names? The two directors. It was like Myrick and something, the two guys who directed. I'm totally blanking on their names. I'm good at this.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I rely on you.
Those guys made one of the greatest, most influential, most trailblazing horror films of all time, The Blair Witch Project. But name me another movie they made after it.
Right.
Now, I can, because they made a Bigfoot film that was, I think, called Exists. That's sort of like a found footage Bigfoot movie. It's actually really good. Myrick and Sanchez, Eduardo Sanchez and Daniel Myrick. That was their names, the directors. Maybe I'm mispronouncing it, but I'm pretty sure that's their names. And then Charles Berlinger, the documentary filmmaker, made Book of Shadows, the sequel, which I also love. I actually like every Blair Witch entry. None as much as the original, but
I don't know if I saw after the second one.
It's one of my favorite films of all time.
We can do it. It's a matter of time, us. We're fill our time already doing everything else we're doing with the show.
Texafire was mentioning Blair Witch video games. I didn't even know there was such a thing. I have no understanding of the world of video games.
I just pre-ordered my first video game, and I don't know. However, I'm biting into the Halloween.
Oh, you're going to get the game?
I pre-ordered the big deluxe version.
Now, what system is it for?
I'm getting it for the PS5. I believe you can get it for all the major.
And when does it come out?
In October.
Now, so is it going to be for multiple I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not good at talking about video games.
Yeah, it's coming out on a few different things.
So you have a PS5 here to play it on?
Taylor does.
You're going to be sucked into playing that.
Yeah.
Do you know, is it like an open world game?
It is. It's like you're going around. But Michael's got these a couple cool little video game powers, shadow mode. It's really cool and everything. So I'm excited to... I mean, back in the day, there was the time, I used to video game when we were younger all the time.
Back in the day, back in the 90s.
It's in me. It's just been a long time since I've really delved into a video game seriously. So
you know what it is for me? The video games are so intoxicating and so attractive and addictive now, and especially those open world games like a Red's Dead Redemption, where you can just spend days wandering around the Old West. Like if I played those types of games, that's all I would do.
Especially when you're within a franchise that you love, like to be able to just walk around Haddonfield and like it's gonna be fun.
Like there's
you get to go to the hardware store and you get the mask and the rope and the the stuff you don't see in the movie.
Oh, that's so neat.
It's cool. It looks
and you
cool.
can probably they probably built like digital models of Haddonfield from the movie.
There's a lot of other characters that, of course, you get to kill that aren't in the movies.
And you were mentioning like a deluxe set. Like, what do you get with that?
I don't. There's like a art prints or something, like photos. And you get a figure of Michael, and there's like the video game shadow mode.
And so you've pre-ordered it?
Yes, mainly for the figure because I like to collect those.
Like, what does a video game like that cost?
Oh, geez. Well, on its own, I think it's like $60.
Oh,
or so,
okay.
50, 60.
Not too bad.
And then the deluxe version's like 125 or something.
Oh, all right.
I can't remember.
I think one of my favorite movie to video game transitions within the world of horror is Jason Voorhees within the world of video games. And I'm thinking of that video game where Tom Savini designed
the classic
this new
Friday
version
the 13th
of Jason
video game that was around for years.
Okay.
I kind of wish we didn't miss the boat on that. I don't think you can play it anymore. I think it was a little more online based. Some of you guys, I'm sure, played it. So you, it sounded like it was a lot of fun. As you killed and you moved up, you got to all the different versions of Jason. Like you had to unlock them through like each movie, and it's just a classic video game that I see everyone always talking about, wanting them to bring back. But
no, I was saying I almost jumped in and I almost did buy a system very recently because the new UFC 6 came out, and it literally, if you watch like on YouTube playing UFC 6, it's hard to tell sometimes if I'm looking at a video of an actual fight or if it's from the video game.
Well, they get so many elements from the real things.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I've discovered though, is it's almost fine that I didn't get the system because what I wanted to enjoy about a video game like that, I can enjoy literally just by watching someone play it on YouTube, and I'm getting the same enjoyment that I would, you know what I mean, without having to try to figure out how to get the whole thing to work and get on my TV. That would be my problem. I would never be able to get it from the video game, and now you have to like download a video game.
That is my only
qualm. I don't
qualm.
understand how to do that. I don't want to start to learn.
I don't think I've ever turned on a PlayStation without something having to update.
Yeah, you have to update or the load, and it's going to take 27 hours.
But I am excited to see the Halloween game, and yes, it looks like you also get to go to the Red Rabbit Lounge.
Oh wow!
And
it's a Nick Castle
did
the motion capture.
Yeah.
Oh, that is really.
And I think the breathing
awesome.
too. They get the audio, the breathing of it came.
Well,
from
I have to say that's the way to do it.
Oh yeah,
that's definitely the way to do it.
And I think, oh God, am I
actually
crazy?
could I create a suggestion?
Wait. I think, does somebody know? Am I crazy, or did Kane Hodder do motion capture as well for
Michael Myers?
For this game? I don't know why it's popping in my head. I'm
Let's look it up.
Totally wrong.
I'm going to look it up.
But I feel like he was also involved in, and maybe it was something else, a different game recently. But I thought I saw him doing motion capture for one of these games. I'm totally
Kane Hodder confirms his involvement in the new Halloween game.
All right. See, it's still in there. There's some cobwebs.
He is performing additional motion capture
fight through it, but
for Michael Myers, and is contributing to the stunts and kill animations. Even though he's 83? I mean, how much stunts is he doing? It's probably just to have him on the set.
Well, think about how old Nick Castle is.
I'm just kidding. I'm just being a pain in the ass. Loving that. I do have to, because I'm an old man, I do have to tinkle.
Well, we're going to take... So, after all this talk about Obsession and Iron Lung, this is with the middle of our live stream. We always take a quick break by showing you guys some good trailers and stuff. Yeah. And Christian apparently has to...
I got to let a little liquids loose. And that takes me a good 3 minutes and 34 seconds.
So we're going to
get the flow going.
If you haven't seen it, to maybe wet your whistle a little.
It's called Sticky Bladder, if you're wondering.
Jesus, I'm going to cut your mic. There's the Obsession trailer, and then the Iron Lung trailer, and then we will be back for some more shenanigans.
That's plenty of time to let it loose.
We
let
love
the old
you guys.
lot lizard loose.
God help me.
Here we go.
Have you ever actually flirted with Nikki?
I'm gonna go get some shots.
I'll come with you if she means this much to you. And I know she does. To say, Nikki, I think we should grab a drink sometime.
Nikki, wait. I was gonna ask you,
What?
I lost my train of thought.
I...
Good night. What else? Why? One wish, Willow. You only get one wish. I wish Nikki Freeman loved me more than anyone in the entire world.
I love you so much. A love only the branch of a willow tree could conjure.
It's weird how you two are dating all of a sudden. Like, super dating.
I think Nikki is going through something.
Like, what? Is she okay?
No. Jeez, what kind of spells you put on her? Nikki? I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you! I was calling to see if there's a way I can cancel a wish.
I'm sorry, we don't really do that.
So she's just stuck like this forever?
Well, yeah, I mean, as long as you live.
As long as I live?
I see that question in your eyes. For what purpose do we remain alone in the dark?
Beginning the descent. Cruising depth in roughly 2 minutes. Stand by.
I ask myself that very same question.
I'm seeing some voltage irregularities on the instrument, so keep an eye out for sparks or flames or anything like that.
Why would there be flames?
You did test this thing, right?
This is the test. Closing porthole shielding.
Where's the reason for this quiet rapture? Too few to rebuild, too many to feed.
You're the first one down. All we have are surface scans, that's why you're there. Well, one of the reasons.
Can we just agree this is important? Food, air. We need this, not just the COI, all of us. We need this.
There aren't enough of us left to be throwing lives away, but there is too much at stake not to take calculated risks. Eden doesn't understand that. You don't understand that!
I just want to live. Is that so wrong? Why doesn't anybody else want that?
There we go.
Love that.
Did you tinkle? Did you get? Are you all set?
I'm still going right now, but yeah, but within the next 5 or 10 minutes, it should stop flowing. But yeah, whew. I wore
I'm
two,
on
two
like
pairs of
drink number
Depends
2 over
today.
here.
I'm still on my first Dr. Pepper cream soda.
Hey.
Does it make your lips tickle? Does it make your lips tingle? Does it make your bum call out for more? It's Dr. Pepper cream soda. Don't tell your uncle. Thank you. Which jingle do you guys prefer, first or second? Go ahead, Joe. You got something you want to do?
Well, I was gonna say, you know, if you guys are horror fans,
Yeah.
like me, a lot of us like to collect
Joe collects.
toys. You will probably see them on the shelves.
He's a
back there.
collector.
I like to collect, so I wanted to start probably doing some more shorts videos on the channel. Excuse me, and this is a really cool Friday the 13th one we got. It's a new NECA one from the video game. When you open it up,
Oh, wow.
it plays the video game theme.
Oh, that's really cool.
But he's all like colored.
Oh, look, it looks like the graphics, too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, do you know why he had that color mask, that odd blue color? Just
It was
because of the
just
way it rendered on
early
screen?
Nintendo graphics.
Because obviously it's taken on a life of its own. You even have one, don't you? Have the original?
Yeah, we used it for the
Oh,
the
that's
ad.
right. That's what it was. I knew it was in my mind somewhere.
And then I also got for Halloween fans. This was from.
Oh, this is so cool.
This is the Halloween 4 figure pack from Meatball. It's like oh god. Well, I bought it from Fright Rags, but it's made by Meatball something or other. I know this is awful. Meatball Industries. Meatball.
Oh, cool.
Meatball. Meatball.
Wow.
That's the guy who actually does them. Plastic Meatball.
It's
Plastic
absolutely
Meatball.
beautifully
He did all the
packaged.
figures you could buy through Trick or Treat Studios and Fright Rags for the original movie. They did these great individual figures, and this was I like that they actually took the time to redesign the Michael, so it was a little more in line with how he looked in Halloween 4.
It looks amazing. And show the back too, because the back is super cool too.
Yeah, it's got all the vintage. Pretty cool.
Now show your back.
No thanks.
Okay.
One more thing.
What else? What else you got there?
So I
down
know
here?
I'm late to the
Bag of
party on
tricks.
this one. All right, but I know we played one of their songs when we were doing our Halloween, I believe, season. They ended up in one of the later movies. But I just recently found this band that I think a lot of horror fans like, that have been around for 16 years. And of course, right when I get into them, they like stop touring and making music. And
Yeah.
everything.
Oh yeah.
All
Okay,
right?
I know who you're talking
But
about. now.
I have fallen in love with the band Ghost. And I don't know if we have any other Ghost fans out there, but boy, oh boy, I can't stop listening to them. And of course, NECA made a great Ghost figure.
Talk
and,
about
and
beautiful
so
packaging
if you know
again.
about Ghost, and there's all these different versions of this guy, the lead singer, Papa, right? This is my favorite version of him. This latest version, Papa 5, I believe, with the chrome mask. Oh my God. I can't stop listening to their music. I'm in that mode where I still get like the euphoria sort of, every time I hear a song and they break into a chorus, and it's like, I can't get enough of it. Can't get enough of them. I can't believe how I missed the boat. I think I knew they were around. I knew they had these masks, but they really combined sort of like music with theatrics in a way that I would also say why I like the Doors in a way. They were an early form of that.
I mean, Ghost is so theatrical and character driven.
And the music
talk
isn't
about lore.
Yeah,
a band that has
yes.
created a lore,
A huge
and,
lore.
and a mystique around.
There's
these
so much to
characters.
get into.
It's fascinating.
And the music didn't end up being as dark, like in terms of the actual melodies and everything. Sometimes he is talking about very devil and satanic stuff, but in a very sort of almost playful way.
It's almost through characterization.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were love songs.
Yep.
A lot of them are very light, very catchy, chorusy things, but man, oh man,
It's
oh man,
actually
do
like
I love them.
you can go all the way back, obviously, to like Alice Cooper, for example.
Oh, yeah.
You can, or Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
You can talk about really dark things. When it's more liberating when you're doing it through a character and through a veil of character, like all of those artists.
Yeah.
And Ghost is right along that genetic lineage of music for absolute
There's
sure.
so many aspects of it you can get into. The artwork on the albums are beautiful.
Right. There's a lot of different ways into
The
that
song
fandom.
"Mary on a Cross" I could just listen to like all day, every day.
Have you tried to learn any of their songs so far? on the
Not
guitar?
really. Honestly, it's a style of music. Like if we were still doing our old band, like that we played in the beginning, I could see us possibly covering.
Okay.
Like me asking the band like to pick a song, it would fit in that.
That was always the most fun was learning covers. I used to. That was
Sure.
always my most. When you finally it would click, and then you just play it like 4 times in a row.
And we did a great thing in that band, at least, where we didn't always cover it straightforward. We always kind of tried to put our own spin on it.
We did arrangements.
And when you would find a new way of doing a classic song that still hit. Oh, so good.
It was always a miracle when we would get through a performance and I had all of my clothing still on. It was a freaking miracle. If you guys could ever find any of these videos, radio shows around that time,
let me
in our
tell you,
life,
the band,
it's a whole different experience.
the band that we were in, it was also under these personas from the radio show that we talked about. So it really wasn't us. So we would go extreme. But the first time my parents came to see us live.
Oh, Jesus.
Doing that band.
That's frightening.
And also somehow talked the door guy into letting my underage sister in.
Mm-hmm.
We, that was the one you broke a glass on the floor in the beginning and licked it, cutting your...
This is Safari?
Yeah. No. It was where the last call was, the call.
Oh.
And you licked the glass, cutting your tongue.
Okay.
And then later, the singer of the opening band went to sucker punch you on stage because you were making fun of his girlfriend.
Yeah, I do remember.
And so
now I remember
walked up, and it's the only...
Joe punched him on the top of the head.
I've only thrown one punch in my life, and I knocked the guy out, and it was on stage in the middle of a song, and I went right back into playing the song.
It was like
and
out
my
of like...
parents were there, and it was...
It was like out of like a Mike Mignola Hellboy comic, because the guy came at Joe like head first, and Joe did like, you know when like Hellboy punches a car and it stops? You know, Joe just punched him square in the top of his head, and Joe back then would wear these rings. I think
I
maybe
had
we
a
were playing,
whole bunch of rock and roll
and
rings.
this dude had
man.
like the ring indentation on the top
well,
of his
you
scalp.
were about to get it. You didn't
I would
see
have
him
been
coming.
dead. He would have killed me.
It was you or the guy, and I.
He was
took
coming
the
for
guy
my head.
down.
He was
Yeah.
coming to actually hurt me. He was excited.
We
to
have
hurt me.
audio of that show that was recently discovered. But anyway,
and
that was my.
And that was a slow night on stage.
That was the first time my parents saw us do that band. That was
The
my
Right Hand of
first
Doom. I love that.
Oh,
I want to say
man.
hello to Babylon Terminator, by the way. Hello, we love you so much. Thank you so much for being here.
We saw Andrew Boston.
Andrew Boston is
he,
here?
He was here. Yes, I saw him.
Oh my God! One
Hopefully
of the world's newest and bestest dentists.
Oh man, I need your help. No, I don't know.
I just actually had a root canal and a crown put in, and I have to say it was not the most enjoyable situation to go through, but I'm glad I did it. Had to fix it. I had a broken tooth. A very friendly Indian woman that's a dentist near where I live fixed it for me, and I appreciate you if you're listening. I'm sure you're not. Why would you be?
Mike Hatfield, no, do not get me in the octagon. That was literally 20 years ago.
Let's show, for any of my of the fight fans out there, if you want to check out my drip right now. I have on my Josh, let me move this, my Josh Hokett, the Incredible Hulk shirt. And I wear that for one reason and one reason alone, and that is because Michelle Obama is a man! Thank you.
Okay.
Anyway, it's a Josh Hokett inside joke.
Okay.
It's an inside joke.
Okay.
Josh Hokett.
That
No, one of my favorite fighters of right now at this exact moment is the Incredible Hulk, Josh Hokett. Who also uses characterization. He plays all these different versions of himself. One minute he's like this Mexican gangster. The next minute he's this super shy guy who throws up all over himself. He's almost got like multiple personalities. And a lot of the MMA fighters don't do that type of stuff because it's more in the world of pro wrestling, the theatricality. Yeah. But I love that Josh Hokett's bringing some of that theatricality into the UFC. Anyway,
but then, do you think does that start making people question how legitimate?
Oh, he does all the goofiness and the characterization, but once you see him inside the octagon, he is a pure, ferocious heavyweight striker, heavy hitter, martial artist. He's 10-0, undefeated, and he's a guy who's like one of the greatest athletes around. He's a former pro football player. He went through the Bellator kind of gladiator camps of MMA and some of the kind of regional MMA circuits. But he's a guy who will be a champion by probably 2028. That's just my prediction. Anyway, go back to what we were talking about.
Wait, but who do you got on Saturday? You think
Conor
Conor's
McGregor
gonna
won
win?
round one.
I think people have been asking.
My only difference from what most people are predicting, I don't think Conor is going to use the same strategy as like Charles Oliveira. I think Conor wouldn't want. He's too egotistical to mimic how Charles Oliveira destroyed Max Holloway, and I think Conor McGregor is so obsessed with glory that he's going to want to knock him out and only be the second man to ever knock out Max Holloway after I think Ilia Topuria. But I do believe in round one, Conor McGregor will knock out Max Holloway. Why do I think that? Because Conor McGregor said it numerous times this week, and that they don't call him Mystic Mac for no reason, as any McGregor fan. And I want you guys to know, I'm one of those people that I'm an art, not the artist type of guy. I don't know Conor McGregor personally, so why should I be affected by the decisions he's made in his personal life or his criminal foibles or whatever people think of him or whatever he's been believed to have done? I judge him as a mixed martial artist and a fighter. Now, I do take away some points because I think a martial artist should comport themselves in all aspects of their life with the kind of as a martial artist. There's like something sacred about that. Some of the stuff he was involved with over the last 5 years does not comport with being a great martial artist. Like why I can't accept John Jones as a GOAT because of the way he is. His persona is not what I would call a martial artist. He's one of the greatest fighters, maybe the greatest fighter of the modern era. But
well, you heard it here.
Conor McGregor,
first,
round one
folks.
knockout, no doubt. And I love Blessed. I absolutely adore Max Holloway. Absolutely love Max Holloway, but he's going to get knocked
follow
out.
none of this.
Mystic Mac, exactly. And
But
I know
I worked. You know, the problem is I work in sports, so I've worked.
Listen to
I've
this,
worked
Joe-
UFC. I've
yeah.
worked boxing. I've worked.
Joe's worked.
It's hard
Conor
for
McGregor
me.
fights.
I can't follow any sport anymore because
because you're too
it's my
immersed.
work. Yeah, it's like going and watching something about your work. You know, for all day. I can't enjoy the sport anymore. I just see how it's made. But I did UFC. Conor back when early days of in Boston, the lower level fights before he was on his rise up. It's pretty intense stuff. It really is.
I actually do remember a long time ago, well before I was a fight fan, when you were telling me, well, that's the first time I've ever come home from work with blood on me.
Oh, my God.
I've never had somebody's blood on me from work.
And the UFC, too, but a lot of it was the boxing. Yeah. When you're right at the ring, because you're doing camera, it's you can't flinch. You have to just take it.
Yeah, I agree.
And all these guys have, quote unquote, been tested as before they've come in that day. So
I also am super excited, guys, to see Gable Steveson utterly obliterate the tin can they've set him up with. No disrespect to any fighter, but that wasn't a great matchup for Gable Stevenson's debut in UFC. He's going to end up the Mike Tyson of MMA, and I think he will also be a champion. I can't wait to see Josh Hokett fight Gable Steveson, which I'm sure will happen in the future. I used to really was hoping I'd see Tom Aspinall fight, because to me, Gable Steveson and Tom Aspinall are like a perfect match. It would be an incredible battle between those two titanic men. But I'd love to see Josh Hokett just gut it out with Gable Steveson. I don't know. And I also want to see Patty just crush BSD. I can't wait to see that. I don't like the idea of a French champion. I hate Cyril Gane. And that's why I disqualify Benoit Saint-Denis as well. I don't believe in such a thing as a French fighter. Is that terrible of me to say? I'm just trying to push buttons.
Well, you know way more about it than me. I mean, I can't talk sports at all, even though I live in that world.
Since probably COVID, around COVID is where I really got the bug. I mean, I was watching Strike Force and Bellator matches on the internet long before that, but
Bellator, I did a bunch of those.
Bellator, I have a big place in my heart for Scott Coker and Bellator, but and a lot of the Bellator fighters as well. But my favorite, just if you ever were curious, my favorite fighter of all time, of all fighters of any promotion, is Fedor Emelianenko, the last emperor. My favorite UFC fighter of all time, at least right now, is Khabib.
Do you follow like the pro wrestling WWE stuff these days?
I sort of wish I did, because I really admire the WWE. I admire the storytelling and the high stake storytelling of pro wrestling.
Man. So that was another thing in my early days of TV before I was actually, like a camera guy or anything big. I was just the low guy. They call them utilities on the show. And whenever they would come in through New England, WWF days and into WWE, it was crazy to watch the amount of people. And then, yes, the story, like, obviously we're not breaking any
right
myths or opening the curtains here. Everyone knows it's a scripted thing, but things would happen, crazy stuff where accidentally, a guy that wasn't supposed to win a match would, because he just held the guy too long, and the referee had no choice but to keep counting it out.
Oh my God.
So then, like, we would stay after the whole audience would leave, and we would refilm it. the right way so they were aired on TV because they had to keep a storyline. And we would pick up all the signs that the audience left, and they put all crew members in the back to fill in the close-up shots. It was crazy. And one time I got. I was working with the camera guy that gets them coming down the ramp, the big intro.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, I love that.
But it's also where they exit after they get defeated and stuff. And we're working the ramp, and I got caught in a spot where I couldn't get out of the way, and I was on camera with it was a female. I don't remember her name. It was a long time ago. It was a big female wrestler, long dark hair. And so she just incorporated me. She got defeated, and she was like walking up the ramp, and so she just grabbed me like a rag doll and threw me against the fence that's right there to like get out of the way. And she kept going. And
I just want to agree with some of chat. If there was a wrestler that really could probably capture my imagination and drag me over to wrestling, it would probably be Danhausen. I am very intrigued by him as a wrestler, as an athlete, and really as a performer. He really I have to admit, I've noticed him, and he's got my attention. I'll put it that way. So it's funny to see you guys bring him up. He's really made a lot of noise for himself the last couple of years, and that takes a lot in the world of pro wrestling to really stand out, especially because of the nature of how it operates. Yeah. But
wow,
anyway.
We've really taken. This is a.
I want to take some calls. Can we do that?
Are we doing it?
Yeah, let's take some calls. Hopefully, some people will call in and chat with us.
Hopefully, this works. Let me make sure I'm going over. While you talk for a sec to the Zoom app to make sure that we've started.
One of my
this
favorite
whole thing.
aspects of every one of our recent live streams over the last couple of years is our call-in section, because you just never know who's going to gut up and be brave and call the number and get on the chat line and come flirt with Joe and I down here in Joe's basement. Come tell us what you're thinking. What are you watching? What are you listening to? What are you doing? What are you loving right now?
Here we go. Here comes the info. And now it's a little different where there is a waiting room when you call in, and then we'll let you in when we see you in there. Here we go.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to know if you want to give us a call.
I think you can call any one of these lines. Am I right?
Yeah. I guess it's just more local places throughout the country. I'm sorry if we don't have international numbers.
Hopefully there's a way to do it.
I was looking into that today. I know there's a way, but it literally kept locking up Zoom every time I try to do it. So I'm like,
oh my God, okay.
We can't do that today.
We can't have that happen.
So yeah, give us a call if you want. We'll chat.
Call one of those lines. Call in here. Yeah.
Any good movies you guys have seen? Please tell us. Or if you've seen Obsession or Iron Lung.
Really anything. You can tell us a story about your youth. Tell us about your first love, your first kiss, your first hug. Do you remember that? Do you remember your first kiss?
Oh my God!
Who was your first kiss?
Really?
No, I'm actually curious right now.
I don't know. I can't go.
Don't say you don't know.
I do, but I'm not saying their name. I think people
Where?
can just
What
look
age
them
were
up
you?
Really?
Yeah.
We're gonna do this?
Yeah, I want to know. I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours.
I think I was 16.
Wow, that's pretty damn good. You were earlier than me. My first kiss was my senior year of high school. So I think that makes you younger. God bless you. I hope it wasn't the same person we both kissed.
Oh God,
that would be really weird. That'd be quantum entanglement.
This really is gone.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the weirdest of all the
Rockstar.
What do we got? What's happening?
Rockstar.
Oh, bro, look who it is. What's going on? Brian Riley. What's going on, brother? Thank you for joining us. That really means the world.
Hey, did you have a plan for if nobody calls in?
I'll get on my phone and I will call. As a matter of fact,
hopefully this works.
Let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. I'm going to call in right now to my own podcast with
Jamie
Joe.
Lee Curtis in the TV Guide. Well, there was Denise Crosby from Star Trek: The Next Generation, but we don't have to get into that.
You've been hooked on her for
decades. We're bringing up.
What was the question? I'm trying to dial.
No, Hatfield was just bringing up they got to kiss Jamie Lee Curtis in the TV Guide. Oh wow!
I'm trying.
I can actually hear you there.
Yeah, I'm giving it a shot.
Oh wait! I see participants too.
Somebody's calling in.
I think we got somebody. Wait. Oh yeah! Admit. Here we go. Here we go.
We have someone. Oh, I hear something.
Hey.
Hello. Who is this?
How are you? This is HP3 Electric.
Hey, what's going on?
Brother.
Thank you for being our first caller today. That really means a lot.
Yeah, no problem.
What happened? You all right?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, good. So what are you doing? What are you thinking about tonight? What's on your mind tonight?
Well, I just wanted to take it back a little because with the news of the new Halloween movie coming out,
Wait,
or potentially.
Wait, say that again.
A new Halloween movie potentially coming out?
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know if I've heard this up-to-date news. This is breaking news here. Tell us more about it.
The TV show that they were working on, I guess, is scrapped. And so they're trying to get something out for 2028.
That would be the year to do it for sure.
For the anniversary,
yeah,
sure.
That would be the 50th. It's the perfect year.
They got to put out something big.
It would be really weird if they didn't for that year.
Wow.
Yeah, so I just want to know if they were going to make another movie, what would you guys like to see in it?
That's a great question.
Yeah, go ahead. You take this one.
I don't know. I guess, at this point, I would just love to see maybe like a kick-ass, back to square one, reimagining, with a heavy anchor to, the original stuff. But I think you kind of have to start over with a new gimmick, though. But I don't know where they would go with.
I've got to say, about a year, maybe a year and a half ago, just for shits and giggles, I started writing like a treatment for an idea for, like, basically imagine just extracting Michael Myers right out of his own lore and his own legacy, and just having like a Michael Myers adventure, basically. Right. Yeah. Where you're just gonna kind of have a 90-minute kind of romp with this character at the center.
Like where is this Michael?
And so my version was taking place where basically by the Halloween Kills idea that he had been apprehended at one point and was put into the mental institution after Halloween 2, okay? And then in the basic premise in my story was this kind of like satanic death cult of like ex-Vietnam vets led by this Navajo kind of like, almost like Sonny Landham almost. That's who I was picturing in my mind. They break Michael Myers out of the institution because this guy wants him as their totem of death.
Right.
And then they have a big chase thing where there's these like this military unit that hunts slashers basically that has to kind of track them down. And it's about in my little story, the Native American guy calls Michael Paleface. That's what he calls him, Paleface. So
that is awesome.
It's probably good that it stays in my little notebook in my bedroom and not goes any further than this live stream.
Well, maybe it becomes a radio drama.
No, I'm just giving you the grace notes. I actually wrote a whole treatment that sort of is around. And my general idea was exactly that. Instead of worrying about all this legacy and all this lore and all these films, all these different timelines and characters and stories, just literally pluck Michael Myers right out of his own world and put him in a different one. The exact same Michael Myers, just give him a whole new world, give him a whole new story, a whole new bunch of people to hang around with, a whole new bunch of people to kill. Bing, bang, boom, done.
We got somebody else.
All right, who do we have here?
Let's see. We got a new caller. Caller number 2, you're with us.
Hey, Bolts. It's the Texify here. How are you?
Texify.
I know that voice. You can't mistake that voice.
Are you in Texas?
Yeah, it's a bit gives it away.
Are you in Texas right now as we speak?
Oh yeah, no, I'm from here, born and raised. I'll die here. Oh yeah.
Now, without giving too much away, what general region of Texas are you from?
Oh yeah, no, I'm from the Dallas-Fort Worth on the northeast side over here. So I'm on the
Well, I think that every time we've been doing the episodes recently, I always love the fact that someone in Texas is listening to these episodes. I always love the idea.
Man, yeah.
While he's sharpening his chainsaw.
Yeah, I love that. So
hey,
what do you think?
The Solace family, pal. You gotta
exactly.
You gotta keep it ready at all times. You know what I mean? It's all good.
Have you seen any good movies lately that you want to mention?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, y'all talked about Obsession earlier. That was kind of a sleeper hit for me because I didn't expect it. But then I went and saw it once, and then I took my daughter, and we had like a whole night just talking about Obsession. It was great.
There's a
today
lot of,
I saw the new Evil Dead Burn, the movie that just come out today.
Oh, you got a chance to see it? Oh, good. You liked it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
I like the kills. The story, the plot's kind of but it's worth seeing for the killing and whatnot. So.
Oh, that's great.
You're a fan of the franchise as a whole?
Oh yeah. Oh, who doesn't love Evil Dead? I mean, that's like one of the few franchises that doesn't have like a bad movie. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I wasn't 100% on board with Evil Dead Rise. It's not. It's the one chapter of the franchise's history that I haven't yet felt like really going back and watching again a second time. Whereas the 2013 Fede Alvarez Evil Dead, I've probably seen that 10 times. I still think that has one of the gnarliest openings in that entire series. That opening sequence in that basement with the daughter. Oh, incredible.
Tied up and it's the whole thing. Yeah, that was good.
And it feels like Evil Dead to me. It is a harder edged experience, but to me, there's something in the genetics of the 2013 film that feels very much like Evil Dead. It's just like, again, a kind of a more stark, harder, less fanciful or humorous version of that type of thing. But I loved it. But I'm looking forward to seeing Evil
this
Dead
one.
Burn.
I mean. Without spoilers, of course, the feel of Evil Dead Burn, like visually, and it has the feel of old Evil Dead. Like when they do the zooming through the woods, the house that they're in is like a big version of the cabin in the woods kind of thing.
Oh.
So it's like I said, I wasn't crazy about the story, but there's more good than bad, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
And I watched Davey Deathray's reaction video. He wasn't as hot on it, but he was very sincere about the fact that everyone should go and see it themselves and make their own opinion up. And he did like a lot of aspects of it. It just really wasn't just his flavor of Evil Dead, apparently, that he was. But I always go right when a new horror movie comes out. I go right to Davey Deathray, and I always want to know exactly his out of theater thoughts, because I usually kind of run right down parallel with Davey. But so I'm curious, but I can't wait to watch it.
Well, I did learn in this movie, if you say hi to a French girl, they have to give you a hand job, because that's what French girls do. They tell you that in this film.
Huh.
Okay.
So. Maybe find a French girl if you're lonely. I don't know.
Wow.
You do you, but
I'm gonna keep that in my old memory bank up here and keep just.
That's a Haddonfield Radio fun fact
I'm gonna
right
hold
there.
on to that.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Fun fact.
HB Electric still on the line. Where would you go with the Halloween franchise or the next movie if given the chance?
Yeah, I thought about that a bit. And I would kind of think that I would like to see a period piece. So if part one is still in continuity, where he falls off the back of the house and then disappears into the night. And so then you pick up a few years later and he's terrorizing a family on an isolated horse farm in like Wisconsin.
Ooh,
nice.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like anything that is going to take it in at least some sort of a different or new, or at least an enticing new direction that brings something new to the mythology.
Like we've talked about, it exists in sort of that multiverse. So you can always sort of pick a point, and go
kind of
and veer
bisect
off,
in,
and just do your own thing if you really wanted to, as long as it's sort of true to what they've already done. Then why not, right?
Can I share with
everybody has a Michael Myers?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh god, yeah.
Totally agree with that. I was going to ask if I could share. I have an obsession theory.
Okay.
All right. I want to share. Spoilers if you guys haven't seen the movie yet. But so I'll give you a second if you don't want to hear this. But here's my quick little theory.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember the opening of the movie, not the real opening where they're in the restaurant, he's rehearsing what
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
going to
yeah,
say to her
yeah.
with the waitress.
Yeah.
But after that, which I believe was the original opening of the movie where he finds the dead cat,
Yeah.
I believe that Bear himself poisoned and knowingly killed his cat. He gave the pills to the cat. You want to know why? I'll tell you exactly why. He had been getting all this emotional mana from Nikki off of the fact that his grandmother had died. And I really do believe that's why they make that as part of the plot. And when that energy he was deriving from Nikki over the sympathy and the support from his grandmother's death was ebbing back to normalcy, he had to keep her attached to him in some way. The only way he saw to do that is, I need another death. And so he kills his cat. In one of those later shots in that scene, when he's sort of crying on the edge of his bed, I'm not necessarily thinking that he's crying out of the shock of finding that his cat... Because explain to me how the cat got into those pills. How else can you explain that?
Well, that's what he kind of says to himself as he's picking
Yeah,
it up.
he would have had to look him
How'd
up.
you get into this? Or how'd you... Yeah.
And so I believe he's actually crying through the knowledge that, look what I've had to do to basically get what I want. It just, again, to me, if that's true as a theory, it further foundationally sort of illustrates the level of obsession that he has with this person and the level of forced connection he's desiring from this person, that he would sacrifice his cat if it will buy him another month of sympathy from this girl and attention.
Totally buy it.
But anyway, we have another caller?
We have another caller. We're letting someone else in here. Caller number 3. Who do we have on the line?
Oh, hi, guys. This is... Oh, sorry, I can hear myself.
Yeah, just turn your volume down and you'll be all set.
This is Babylon Terminator.
Oh, hello. Nice to hear from you.
Yes. Another long time.
Sorry, guys, but this is Nick Alfieri.
Oh, Nick. All right.
Of course.
Sometimes
of
like
course.
putting like a
Okay.
handle to a name.
Yes.
What's going on, brother? How are you
Yes.
doing?
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
So what are you what are you up to tonight? What are you thinking about?
I'm making turkey burgers right now for my wife.
Oh, what a lovely devoted husband and partner you are. I love that.
Yeah. We just had the wedding.
Congratulations.
It went really well.
I'm so glad for you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And what horror movie
yeah.
did you guys celebrate with, of course, right?
Probably had to be one.
Oh, she's not as big a horror as I am.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
what is
her favorite's probably Candyman.
Ooh, one of my favorites as well.
Okay.
What is her thing that she's really into in the world? What is her passion?
Her passion. She likes art. She likes to paint.
Oh, very nice.
Spend a lot of time with me. She loves going to concerts.
Love that.
We love. We went to Florida last night at the fair.
Oh, that must have been lively.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
That's awesome. Now.
Yeah. How about you guys? How are you guys?
We're doing fine. I'm having a good time. Are you having a
Oh
good
my
time?
God,
I
yeah.
hope you guys are enjoying yourselves, hanging out with us here, just chit-chatting and
Yeah,
the like.
yeah. Y'all doing a great show.
Thank you.
I like the live streams because it forces me. Christian's always got the list of movies he wants to talk about, and all of a sudden I'm under a deadline.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
To get all these movies that are.
I text him like 4 times a day. So, what'd you think about Iron Lung? Oh, still didn't get to it. Okay.
I've been jamming them in the last
text you in
couple
6
days.
hours.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, Christian.
Yeah. Go right ahead. What's up?
I was wondering, since, I didn't know this before, but you're a comic book fan.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Lifetime.
So I was wondering, are you watching the new season of X-Men 97?
I haven't started yet, only because I was going to I wanted to just do it all at once. I like to sort of sit, especially with something like that, just bang through it all at once. But I'm sort of sad that Bo DeMeo is not writing this season. I really loved the season that extended the property that he did. But have you had a chance to watch any of the episodes?
Yeah, it's excellent. It's just as good.
Oh, I can't wait.
He's actually still credited as a writer on a lot of the episodes for this season.
I hope that when the X-Men arrive as a newly designed, newly cast unit for this era, I hope they really, really draw from the energy that they put into the X-Men 97 series and certainly the original version of that. I just think that it's one of the best interpretations of those characters, shy of like the Chris Claremont era in the comics, or you know, I just absolutely love it so much. I hope there will eventually be X-Men movies that feel like that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right. The X-Men 97 property, I would say, is better than anything that the MCU films.
I agree. I would definitely agree.
Oh
with
God,
that.
yeah.
It's pretty damn brilliant. So yeah, absolutely.
Now, have y'all watched the trailer for the Ice Cream Man coming up?
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because I have a real problem with it in a way. Going back to comic books.
I do too.
Going back to comic books, I just want to say this.
I did have to mute. I think it's HB Electric because
okay, we'll get back
we're getting
to
some noise there.
There is a W.
Well.
Maxwell Prince comic book series called Ice Cream Man that has been around for a number of years and is very, very pretty iconic as a horror comic. Now, Eli Roth claims he's had this Ice Cream Man movie idea for like 20 years, and I totally believe that. I'm sure that he has. But once that comic book had permeated pop culture the way it did and had the effect, especially on the horror community the way it did as a comic, I just found it to be a little not disrespectful per se, but just a little shrewd of Eli Roth to kind of push his version out into theaters first. And it looks extremely similar. There's not the more supernatural.
It looks just like Weapons.
Yeah, it looks just like Weapons.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
You're at that is 100% on the. That's
I know.
You
As
just
soon
hit
as
the
he
nail on the
said
head.
it, I was like, "Yep."
And so I feel bad that there'll never be, or maybe there will be, but there won't be like some sort of adaptation of the W. Maxwell Prince comic, because if you're a horror fan and you haven't read the Ice Cream Man comics, they're brilliant. And Eli Roth's movie might be incredible. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I just have sort of a chip on my shoulder about it.
You have a few chips on your shoulder.
A lot
tonight.
of chips on my shoulder. A lot of chips.
I'm just saying.
A lot
I don't
of
know.
chips. I'm very chipped up.
I know.
I'm 52.
He got
What
chips
do you
on
want?
his shoulder and he got caught in the shitter.
That's
He's having a hell of a
absolutely
day.
it. You better believe it.
And of course, we have to mention, of course, rest in peace to Wally, which in the last episode,
Wally.
and I have to say, like, man,
Let's have a drink for Wally.
You got me good on that one. You had me crying in front of everybody in that episode.
Guys, wherever you guys are, if you have a little a drink or of any kind, a soda, a beverage of any kind, let's have a quick sip, everybody, for Wally, my buddy Wally. Rest in peace, brother. I
That's
still,
straight vodka. And that is
I know
burning.
a
That's
lot of
burning.
you guys that have
I'll pour myself something now.
like a lot of you guys that have lived with a dog or have had a dog for many, many, many years, and especially a dog that sleeps in bed with you for over a decade. I still wake up a number of times during the night and flap my arm around trying to find Wally in the blankets.
Yeah.
And that sensation when it occurs to me that, oh, he's not there, that's some of the hardest stuff I've had to deal with. Those because your brain isn't consciously clicked into the reality that he's gone. It's back in its robotic mode as you're sort of half awake, half asleep. So it's those, like, otherwise I feel like I've adjusted all right, but those types of moments really take the wind out of me.
Sure.
And the other weird thing I have to admit, and this is the first time I'll admit this, because somebody asked me about it and I sort of pretended it wasn't true, but a couple times I feel like I've heard Wally in my room since then.
Oh my God.
Like I've heard his tinkling of his nails when he walks.
Okay, well, so this goes into you have a history of paranormal.
Oh yeah, all through my
research.
Oh, there you go.
all through
like
my life.
legitimately for the
Another one of my
public
passions.
broadcasting system, you did documentaries for.
Yeah.
So, do you think do pets have
Absolutely.
the same ability to?
Let me just put it this way. Anyone,
haunt
again,
or linger?
if you've ever slept in a bed with a dog, you know that dogs dream.
Yeah.
Cats dream. Any creature that dreams has a very complicated and elaborate consciousness. If humans dream and have that level of consciousness to be creating,
our reality.
A reality inside their own
Yeah,
subconscious.
yeah. And they have their
that
own
means they have a full subconscious. And if they have that, and you can believe that a human can have a ghost that can somehow be separate from its physical tether, then why shouldn't an animal?
Well, and a lot of people will say that dogs and cats are very perceptive to humans that are dying.
Yep.
Or
clearly dogs can see things that humans
they
can't.
know, exactly. Yeah.
Everybody knows what that's like when the dog is like staring at the corner of your bedroom.
Yeah.
My cat still does this
Yeah.
to me. Sometimes
Oh,
I have to
God,
like
yeah.
poke my cat and say, "Will you knock it off?"
I know.
Because my cat will just like intensely stare at like nothing. Like, do you mind, bro?
Yeah. Yeah. And then, or
Well,
you
that
can get
could
it.
kind of tie into like a. See, that would be kind of. Would you consider that a residual haunting for the tie to that place?
I don't know. I have a very
What about the concept that ghosts sometimes like they can't move on until something is
I
until
pray
they
that's not true.
they know.
Yeah, I
Do
pray
you think
that's not true.
with animals? Do you think that is also like
Well-
until they realize they have to move on, or
Well, let me put it to you. Let me answer that question by putting it
they
to you
would
this
linger
way.
by you?
The reason why I, up until this moment, have not really liked even really thinking about that I thought I might have heard Wally in my room is because I actually really dislike the notion that Wally would be spiritually waiting around for
Right,
me
yeah,
or
well, yeah, of
lingering
course,
around.
yeah.
I don't want Wally to be near me and yet not able to be with me.
Right.
I would rather Wally be up in the Rainbow Bridge with his other dogs, and I'll meet you down the road. I'll get
Does
up
the
there
animal
eventually.
even understand that they've
Yeah.
moved on?
And like,
well,
yeah, I don't like the notion that Wally's in the room and yet I can't
it's
see him
most
and
likely
he can't see
a
me.
restial of your own memories.
Oh, it's out of
and
my
it's
subconscious.
still heavy on you.
Absolutely.
And, yeah.
But yeah, raise a glass to Wally. Good old boy, best dog I've ever known. But anyway, what else? What else are we doing? What else, guys? What else is going on?
Well, I think
I just wanted to.
Go right ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I
you
didn't
go.
mean to
You
cut
go.
anybody off.
No, you go. What's going on? Say it.
Well, in honor of Wally, honestly, and I don't mean to bring the mood down. Like I felt really bad. My condolences, Christian. You're doing well, brother. But like, it kind of made me reflect on like how you guys came into my life. Like I was in a really bad place at like work. I was in like an abusive, toxic work environment, and like I found you guys, and I would listen to your Halloween episodes on the way home. And so I'm in a much better place. Like I have a job that is much better. I'm married now to the love of my life, and I'm still listening to you guys. You guys are going strong in season 4, so I really appreciate you guys, and I just really wanted to say that. But also, I just had a drink for Wally too, so rest in peace to him.
You're going to get Joe crying again.
not
I just
crying,
have to
no.
warn you right now.
No, I appreciate it.
I can literally see his
well, first
glasses
of all,
misting
let me
up.
just say, I'm a crier. Like I cry if I'm happy.
I
If
don't
I'm
mean to,
sad.
Joe. I don't mean
I
to.
cry if like my son had his first clarinet concert, and I'm over there like, oh God, can you believe it? You know it. So like, it didn't take much for you to pull. You know, and the greatest part though was when you. Realized I wasn't joking. Like you thought I was mocking your pain, just like fake crying.
I
at
thought
first.
you were trying to like get me to like I was being too maudlin, and you were sort of trying to get it back up, like the energy up. And I look over to chastise you, and you're literally bawling.
You can't. Thank God the lighting. I mean, you can't just see us just stream. I'm like trying to keep it together. Oh, it's so bad. You got me so good. Oh well, you know we appreciate you guys, and you know stories like you just told. Like you know, we've been getting those a little bit lately, more and more of what the show means in people's lives and what it's gotten them through at times. And my God, like it's the best thing that has ever come out of the show is really that more than the views or the play button or anything. It's just hearing people say like, wow, like what you did mattered in some small way in someone's life. That's great, and thank you for sharing that with us.
I know personally, as somebody who watches a ton of YouTube and podcasts, how much comfort I derive from the shows and the podcasts and the YouTube channels that make me feel good and make me feel, that give me a little anchor in my daily life to sort of escape to and to sort of be excited by. And so a big part of creating anything and putting anything out on YouTube or Spotify for Joe and I is just wanting to be a link on that chain and try to bring that to somebody else in return, and hopefully be that for another person, that a comfort or company for other people. And believe it or not, that is super, super, super important to me. And I know it is to Joe as well, that our show is meant to be totally and entirely inclusive to people and to those that want to listen, and give you a happy place to spend some time every month.
And it literally brings us out of the, like, if you guys heard us earlier talking about the frustrations sometimes getting these episodes up online, And usually the episode goes up, and we are seething because it took so much work to get it up, and we're cursing. Is it worth doing? What are we doing? This is nuts. And then all of a sudden, people will hear the episode, and we start getting the messages, and then we just stop, and also we're like, oh, well, this makes it all worth it, and it just the anger, the heat just goes away completely for you guys.
Very
you know?
special.
So I'll take those seething days any day just to keep making stuff for you guys.
The idea of like you're going through a tough time in your previous job, and you would get some comfort from something Joe and I are creating down here in Joe's basement. That's all I've ever wanted to hear from making and putting this effort into making the show, stuff like that. That means the world.
Because let's make no mistake that the old radio show that we talked about, that we used to do,
oh Jesus,
literally nobody listened to.
No,
ever.
And the people that did was like hate listening. They were literally hate listening to us. And some of these people,
because they didn't get it.
Some of these people, they would hate us so much that they would be lining up to donate on the pledge drives because they were desperate to keep us on the air, so they had something to aim their hate at. And Joe and I just we did this for years.
We also had the pleasure of our extreme rock and roll based show came right after the kids hour.
It was
remember
really
that
perfect.
It was like Sesame Street songs, and then us
which was
swearing and
brutal.
Playing, punk rock music.
For many years, I used to have to walk around the city of Providence in my daily life looking over my shoulder because I was always afraid someone was going to come up and hit me over the head with something. I was assuming it was going to happen at any time during those years. So if you guys ever find those original episodes and listen, you'll probably see what we're talking about.
Well,
it's nothing like this show. Again, we were playing characters, and
you were in it like you more than anybody lived it 24/7 in a way. Like
sort of
the persona you presented. Even outside of our show and the band, you still used that stage name when you were like writing articles. Remember in the local papers.
Oh yeah, no, a lot of people only knew me by that name.
Yeah, exactly.
When
we were making films, it was you were. I would use my actual name most times we made films, but you still would use the stage name.
I got stuck in that identity for many years, which was not healthy for me. But anyway, I just want to say hello to Justin Perry as well. Thank you so much for joining us, brother. It's so nice to see you out here. And Nick Hardnett as well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. I see you're laughing. I wish I knew what you're laughing at. Probably something ridiculous that flopped out of my mouth over the last 5 minutes. Something absolutely embarrassing. Sometimes there
was one question
go for it.
I did want to ask you guys.
Hit us.
So obviously, y'all cover the real films in order, right? And I love that y'all do that because it gives such a consistency to the product that you can rely on every month. But it maybe like a trailer park special or something, but
well,
if y'all did y'all's pitches for existing products, like your version of a Halloween movie or Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I love these types.
Would y'all do something like that?
I would do that in a heartbeat. I would find that to be very
exciting. We've been floating around a lot of ideas, and that's close to something that we talked about, the radio drama type stuff. One thing I always wanted to do, like on Halloween, was for a live stream was literally just do it like you're in Haddonfield on Halloween night, 78, and
we've been talking about that since the very beginning.
We got to do it sometime. But and that sort of in a weird way leads us to our next subject of talking about a little bit about what might be coming up with season 5. Without giving away specifics of what the films are going to be, we are going to be switching up our MO for the last 4 seasons and not sticking to one particular franchise. And we are going to be doing a series of different films.
The truth is, we're doing The Notebook 10 times. We're going to do 10 episodes.
I'm going to do Explorers for a whole year.
The Notebook 10 different ways.
And that's it.
10 different feelings, 10 different styles.
Yeah.
We're going to do a James Garner edition, a Ryan Gosling edition, a Rachel McAdams edition,
and then
a Gina
a
Rowland
radio
edition.
drama version where you're going to play all the parts.
I will play all the parts. I have absolutely. My Nicholas Sparks passion and knowledge knows very few bounds. So get ready for that season 5, peoples.
Yeah.
No, anyway, go ahead.
You know, I think there's a lot of franchises we could do, a lot of great ones, and we could kind of keep doing our thing. But to switch it up a little bit, because there are so many films that maybe there's only one or maybe a sequel to that are great. We're just going to mix it up next season by kind of bouncing around a little bit through some other great horror films.
Yeah. When down the road, probably in one of the next live streams, when we hit you guys with the specifics and the details of what we're developing for season 5, if you've enjoyed what we've done in during these 4 seasons, I pretty much promise you will probably enjoy what we're doing in season 5. It's just a slight format evolution.
We're going to continue doing the radio dramas as well, but
and commentaries.
But they are not going to be necessarily specific to the film we're reviewing like they are now.
Yeah.
We will be doing, kind of like you said, our own take on some classic stories that have been told over the years, you know, horror. We're kind of looking at a lot of UFO abduction stories, things like that.
Giving too many details.
Yeah, but to spread it out and to do some different things, you know, just get ready for that.
I think a lot of it is that we've spent now like 4 seasons and essentially 4 years kind of covering not just these 4 slasher franchises, but really a lot of slasher history through the prism
classic
of those.
4. It's like
right.
you know, the ones you expect right off the bat.
And I think Joe and I just both feel like for a lot of different reasons, but most notably just creatively, it feels like the right time to sort of try to evolve the format a little bit and try to open it up a little bit to a few other kind of ideas.
Please, if this idea totally horrifies a bunch of you, let us know. I'm not sure it'll change anything.
Once you guys
but I'd be curious to know if the idea of not doing a franchise, you know, is
if maybe that's just you guys don't like the idea of that.
But
but I would say this.
We're gonna pick some great films, kind of like Trailer Park in a way, but
similar.
more of a deeper dive, you know, than we do on those.
Absolutely.
You know?
And I think when you hear some of the titles that we're talking about doing commentaries for, I promise you'd probably be happy with them. But anyway, go right ahead.
Are you guys big fans of the Saw films?
Everybody keeps asking us about Saw.
It's one of the reasons why actually we stared away from franchises. Not that we don't like them. I just think there was so much expectation. A lot of people were telling us it was almost. We felt like we almost didn't have a choice, and then we kind of said, you know what, we want to make sure we're staying interested. Not again that Saw movies aren't interesting, but we didn't want to feel forced into doing that next. It still might happen down the line, or in a condensed trailer
the
park
other
way.
issue, specifically with Saw, in my opinion, is it's like 14 movies.
Well, that's what I mean. It would have to be
altogether.
a little more condensed.
And when
that's a long season.
Yeah, when you think about it, that's like going on almost like going into like a year and a third territory.
But it does. One of those films, I can't remember which one, has one of my most horrific
there's great
scenes.
stuff.
Throwing the girl in the pit of the hypodermic needles.
Yeah.
I'm not a needles guy, despite the tattoos.
No, listen, I have
cannot
nothing
do
but
needles
love for the Saw franchise. James Wan, Lee Winnell. I think those guys are such trailblazers in and of themselves. The way they broke into Hollywood and made the first Saw is a really fascinating and inspirational story for other creative people. So believe me, there's a lot of fertile room within a franchise like Saw to make a season out of it. I think maybe if we hadn't done the seasons the way we did, maybe in the future we could come back around, circle back around and do it. There's like the Scream movies too.
Oh yeah, that was another big one.
Let me just tell you guys, I'll tell you this right now, right off the rip. I said this to Joe. Let's say we decided we'd do the Scream movies for season 5. I could write that season right now. I know exactly what the stories would pair with the movies. I actually believe I could probably do those stories in a way be the best ones we've ever told. But I just feel like I'd rather wait and get the inspiration back for this,
do something a little different.
Yeah, just maybe
just gonna do
circle
something
back
slightly
to that.
different. But I do want to say, Mike Hatfield, I see your comment, and thank you, brother. That
What was
means
the
a lot.
comment?
Basically saying that he would listen to us talk about reviews of soda, and it's you know. More about us and not so much what we're talking about. You know?
I appreciate
that.
that.
And that's great. And get ready, Mike, because you're gonna have to do art for a lot of different films
And
next
again,
season. We're not sticking
you
to one
better
thing.
tighten up your ability to draw James Garner Ryan Gosling, Rachel McAdams, and of course the great Gina Rowlands. You better get those. I don't want none of this shit. I want you to be drawing beautiful portraiture. All right, and also the director Nick Cassavetes, who made The Notebook. I could talk for days about Nick Cassavetes,
Genius.
the son of John Cassavetes. He made this movie. I'm blanking on the name.
What else
of it.
has he made besides The Notebook?
Remember that one? I think it's called Alpha Dog. It had Bruce Willis in it. It was like small town kind of true crime movie. Came out in like the early 2000s. And other than that, I could not tell you another one. You know why? The Notebook just takes up so much freaking real estate in both my heart and my mind, and the soul that tethers the two of those things together, that I don't have a lot of room for any other Nick Cassavetes projects or Nicholas Sparks adaptations.
I'm going to make you actually review The
I've
Notebook.
said literally
because
again for the last 3 years.
I'm going to call
let's
your
do
bluff
The
on this
Notebook.
joke. And,
I would do. I'll
Well,
do
I
it
do
right
have an
now.
idea for that.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you do The Notebook, he has to do it as his new character, Dr. Cream.
Oh my God, I
That's what he has to do.
absolutely love that. I'm feeling Dr. Cream starting to rise up out of my old gullet here again a little bit.
Wow.
All right, I'll show you my belly button. I'm not afraid.
Oh, Jesus.
There it is.
Oh,
There it is right there.
And I just ruined the show,
Hold on,
guys. I'm
let's get it
sorry.
closer
Yeah.
to the
No,
camera.
you're not- you guys are lucky this is all it is. Trust me. This is in our younger days, it would have all been coming off.
I'm Dr. Cream.
All coming off.
Nice to see you
Yeah.
guys.
Oh boy.
Come give me a big
You
old
realize the
kiss.
mic is like up your ass right now.
I love it.
Okay.
They can hear me, believe me.
All right, I'm just saying.
Sorry, guys. Oh my God, look at what I'm seeing. I'm seeing what I just did.
Oh my God, you did it.
This was on a real live
That's
stream.
like the pool picture in the beginning of the episode, the
Oh
fat
my
version
God,
of
you're
you.
absolutely
Yeah.
right. I've gone back. We've
Oh
tied
my
this
God.
together so beautifully.
Oh Jesus. Hey,
Can we throw that back up on the screen real quick? Is there a way to do that? I'd like everyone to take a quick look at that photo again. One of our beautiful moments together. Joe
the
and I
Hawaiian
spent.
music? It might come out. Hear us. No, they can't see you.
Are we
either.
on now? Are we
now?
back?
Now
All
they
right,
can hear us.
we
Now
just
We're
want
in the
to-
background.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
that was Joe and I in the
He
pool
just
earlier
he had
today.
to, we had to show it again, and there we go.
Look at my supple bosom. I know Joe covered half of it with the American flag. You're only getting left tit, but
I didn't do anything. That was mainly AI.
oh, the AI did. AI just censored it.
Oh man, we had a good laugh.
I will
on
say
that
my
one.
right nipple is much
Well,
more photogenic.
okay, now on the
It's my
fun,
good side.
the fun conversation of AI is as you're working with this software to get to what you want, is the gems that it does spit out like that,
Yeah.
or that are so out of left field,
Mm-hmm.
and or they've melded in such a weird way. Like every once in a while, you're like, "Oof, that is nightmare fuel," and
Yeah.
that's like my face is in there and stuff, and it's weird, but.
It's good for a laugh, though.
But it's good for a laugh
Yeah.
every so often, you know, what can I say?
I don't know. I always love just coming and just chilling with you guys and chat and just hanging out. I hope, honestly, I sincerely hope, and on behalf of Joe and myself, that you guys have been enjoying these season 4 episodes. And
So how many episodes are left for the
Okay,
rest of the
so
season? How many Texas
the second
Chainsaw?
half of the season, Joe and I usually break these seasons into 2 halves for a lot of reason. And we try to make the 2 halves of the season have sort of different feels and different styles. But the second half, we've got Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning. We have like Leatherface, I think one of them. Texas Chainsaw 3D, and then we have the Netflix 2022 Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Or is it just, no, is that one just called Texas Chainsaw? Or am I thinking of something else?
It might be, but I know
Okay.
it was 2022 in Netflix.
Okay.
And then that will constitute 9 movies and 9 episodes. We didn't feel that that was quite enough. So Joe and I are going to be doing a 10th bonus episode that I promise you you're going to absolutely enjoy. We're not going to quite reveal what the movie is. We'll be doing a like 5-hour deep dive. If you watched our Vampires episode with James Wood, this would sort of be like in league with that, like a 5-hour deep dive on a particular film that I think Joe and I are just chomping at the bit to talk about. That is actually the perfect film to lead us into season 5 and out of season 4. So we'll have a 10 episode season 4 altogether. 9 movies and a bonus
And then
episode.
we'll have the holiday live streams coming
of
up.
course, in our Halloween live stream.
Our New Year's usually, or
We'll be doing both
winter
of
one,
those. I can't wait for those.
Yeah.
Those are always a lot of fun.
We hope to be having some new giveaways during those, some new posters and stuff. So,
well, we're working on a Mike Hatfield art poster.
Yes, I have talked to him about it.
Yeah.
There's like one little thing we have left, and
that represents all of his art from season 3.
Yes. Yep.
All those profiles of Jason over his life and death.
And we're gonna have the Leatherface Mark Putinas art that goes along with the other ones we have.
They'll do like a season 4
exactly.
poster as well.
Yep, so we're going to have some giveaways around the holidays with that. And on that note, we do have an Etsy store. Just search us if you guys want any
T-shirts and all that.
Again, we don't really make any money. It's just covers the cost of making the stuff. If anybody wants things, just ship something to Germany.
Unfortunately, you cannot find a belly button like mine on Joe's Etsy store. You can't get one of those in a store. You can't even get one of those with the years in the gym. Okay, that's called genetics. Okay, it's called genetics. So don't start Googling where do I get a belly button or a /navel like Christians. Just wanted to say
this is what I have to deal with while we're trying to record, like the intros, the stories, guys.
I don't want my shit getting out there. That's all. I gotta protect my shit.
I've often thought of cutting together the blooper reel of you recording your intros. Where,
oh God, Jesus Christ!
You do some great word mix-ups, but the different ways you can use and scream, I might add, the word fuck. As you screw up, there's multiple, so many ways that you've used it to.
No, honestly, if you guys were ever to sit in here while I'm recording some of these stories, it's not like this dramatic reading that's so interesting. It's like a mess. That's why it's really important to really elucidate that. One of the biggest things Joe brings to these stories is the arrangement.
I sit through the hours of it
he
and
has
pull
to
out
literally
all the crap.
Because I try things different ways or
but
different
it works.
styles.
It's great, but
anyway,
it is funny when I am going through it. I have all these
I
clips
get frustrated.
of
I get red
yelling.
hot.
Yeah.
Lot
And then sometimes I can't even use the good take because you say it so quickly after yelling fuck.
Because I'm pissed.
I can't clip it. Oh.
But anyway,
thanks guys.
Good times.
Yeah.
Good times.
We're letting it out now.
Yeah, loving
mid-season.
Feeling good about that. Any other good chat going on? Let's see. What do we got here? Let's see. Chainsaw 3D wasn't inherently bad, but has one of the cringiest lines in movie history.
I love Chainsaw 3D.
Yeah. Really?
Okay. I
did
don't...
you see that in the theater, like in 3D?
I did. I'll say I was one of the few that saw it in theater, but I did go see it. Now I'll say it's not a good movie, but it's one that I love.
But it's fun. So, is it fun? Is it at least just fun to sit through?
It's like, it's another timeline. It goes right back to 74.
Yeah, right.
They brought back Bill Moseley, but in a different role.
Ooh, that's strange.
Interesting.
Definitely not good 3D. Like, it's in that time period of where it looked like crap.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you think for our research purposes, is it worth like trying to find a way to watch it in 3D?
I was just going to say, we got to do a sequel to our Friday the 13th Part 3 episode that we watched in 3D.
Yeah, we did. That's true.
We did our commentary in 3D. We've got to do this one in 3D
assuming
too.
it's out on Blu-ray in 3D with
We've
glasses.
Got to find a way. How could we miss that opportunity?
I'm trying to remember because there's.
Damn, we got to try to do that.
There's one chainsaw scene at the end where where they throw it and it's in 3D.
Okay.
There's not a lot of moments. I mean, if you want to, sure, but I wouldn't go out of my way.
Okay, gotcha. Well, duly noted, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Probably saved us a
now,
lot of
I will say, this film is worth watching alone for one thing and one thing alone.
Oh boy,
Alexandra Daddario.
I knew you were going to. Oh yeah.
I need to say nothing more.
Oh yeah. When
That's
I think
all
of her, I always think of True Detective season 1. I still think it's one of the most.
Oh, God bless that woman.
She in that particular season, she looks. I don't even know how a human can look that gorgeous. It's almost like baffles my mind. Like it doesn't even seem realistic that someone could be that beautiful.
So now to go full circle here, to bring up guys being creepy around girls. The movie Obsession, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things that I thought was kind of fascinating, and I guess from a guy's point of view, like there's also this weird other level. Tell me if I'm the only one here that like you're watching it the whole time as the girl is sort of getting increasingly worse and worse, and you're kind of saying to yourself, how long would I stick with this?
The whole movie from beginning to end.
She's so cute.
The whole movie beginning.
And you're like, would I be like, stop freaking out, man? Just hang out with her.
I would absolutely. I would date the freaky Nikki entity in a frickin' heartbeat. I wanted to say to
go
Bear,
by the
if
old
you don't
rules.
want her, I'll take her.
Wait,
The crazy hot scale.
There you go.
One of the problems, though, like the whole time I was kind of like screaming at this guy, like, why isn't he going back to that store to get another one? Like clearly, the answer is somehow in another wish to undo this, right? And it took so long to kind of get there, and like I was like from the very beginning, like, well, you got to go get another one, right? You got to, and that was the only thing. Like the whole time, like just go get another stick, you know? But I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
I can't wait to watch that movie again and just kind of just look at it in detail.
It's better to watch a second time around because you pick up on a lot of stuff you didn't know.
Absolutely, I totally agree.
The great background stuff that where she creepily was videotaping them, and you see it on the TV at the end in the background, and it's not like very obvious. You have to be looking for it, but it's there.
There's a lot of really weird background art on a lot of the walls and a lot of the sets. Take a look, because there's some really bizarre background art and posters and things that are obviously placed there on purpose, but it gives a very strange vibe when you're kind of looking at the background.
The title being actually quilted like into the blanket in the beginning, that was really well done. Yeah.
So what else? What else do we have? We have any other images that you can pop on the screen?
No, we've kind of worked through our whole repertoire
well, that's
here.
It. Well, I'm beat anyway.
I think Textifier, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you so much, brother.
And thank you for listening.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for letting me call.
Support and having like the coolest voice that that's ever called in to the show.
Gotta be worth something, right?
Thank you, brother.
We're gonna have to get you to do a voice on one of the radio dramas
that would
sometime.
Be perfect.
We'll have to
love
figure
this
out how to record it. There we go.
I love this plan.
Y'all hit me up anytime. I'd be happy to contribute.
Thank you, brother. We'll talk soon, okay? Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It really means a lot.
Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. You appreciate it. Y'all have a good.
Bye, brother. Well, I've had a great time tonight. What about you?
That was awesome.
I love this. I love getting together and sharing some time here.
I like the calls. I mean, they went a little off the rail. I think last time there was somebody with a body driving around. And
that was what was his name? Juan.
He was
Jose.
in Mexico.
No way, Jose. I remember.
I don't know.
We actually had.
No, he was in California.
A potential serial killer had called in a couple live streams ago. I wish he would find us again. If you're out there, wherever you are, Jose, we are thinking of you and I miss you. So call in next time. But yeah, anything else? Any last thoughts going on in chat?
No, I'm like just catching up with what people have been chatting over here because I've had to look at the Zoom window. But
I just want to say a quick.
It's so great. And again, I love seeing the whole chat that goes on during the
it's
live.
Always, I love
going back, like go afterwards when I get to go back and read what everyone else was writing and making fun of us about. It's good times.
I just hope you guys know how. Take two. I just hope you guys know how much we appreciate you guys. Even our listeners in the future that are listening to this days from now. We love you as well, and thank you for joining us posthumously. But thank you to all who joined us today. You guys really make it so much fun to be here. We look forward to this a few times a year, so thank you. And I also want to say hello to my mom and tell her how much I love her and appreciate her, and thank you so
Mrs.
much.
White.
Appreciate you, love you.
Thank you.
And Kitty, I'll be home soon, so make some room for me on the bed. I have a big black 30-pound Maine Coon. I think I might have mentioned Kitty.
Is the cat aware of the dog?
Oh
gone?
yeah.
Interesting.
Kitty.
I've never had a dog.
Kitty seemed a little sad or melancholy about it for about 25 minutes, and then Kitty was like, "Oh fuck, I get this whole bed to myself now."
I'm a cat guy.
Holy
shit!
shit!
I get it. Yeah, exactly.
I'm just gonna move the F in. Now Kitty has absolutely taken my room over. I'm not entirely sure Kitty is comfortable with me still being in there as well. I think Kitty's waiting for me to croak so Kitty can just have the TV to himself.
Yes, Mike, a Dr. Cream drawing. Please make it happen.
Oh, you got to do a creepy Dr. Cream drawing. Should I do one more Dr. Cream song?
I'm all out. Oh, Jesus.
Everybody,
no, you don't have to.
I'll do it.
Oh.
Everybody, north and south, Everybody with a butt or a mouth, open wide and take a sip.
I wish I had my guitar.
Come over here and give me a little kiss on the lip. If you don't do it, I'll call the police, and then I'll come over there and pinch you on the knees. Dr. Pepper, Dr. Cream, he'll poke you in the butthole, and then you'll go to sleep and have a bad dream. Hashtag Dr. Pepper.
Oh, my God. Well, folks, thank you
I
as
used to
always.
be a recording artist.
Yeah, well.
Joe and I both did. You heard it at the beginning, so that I do have songs that were produced with my lyrics, so thank you for your giggling. I thought it was pretty good. Dr. Pepper, drink it now. Dr. Pepper.
Do I keep this going?
No.
Is this where
I could go on and on. I'll go all
geez.
night.
Are we done? Is
I'll
this
sing
happening?
all the way back to
Oh,
Massachusetts in your car. I do not care. I'm not afraid to do it. No,
Well,
thank you. We love you guys so
We're
much.
going to see you for episode 40 next.
Yeah, we'll be back with
Yeah.
next up, episode 40, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning, from I think 2016, I think was that one, 3 years after the Platinum Dunes reboot. A sequel within.
Are we still with Platinum
the
Dunes
sequels.
at this point? Have we
Yeah,
changed
this
hands?
is literally a sequel to the last
right,
movie.
so it's a lot of the same players behind
Yep.
the scenes. Gotcha.
Same characters, basically.
Yeah.
I think it's a prequel.
Yeah, because it's got you see the sheriff again and all
Yeah.
that, right?
It
Yeah.
shows like how he became. I don't know,
right,
but
yep,
yeah,
yep,
it's
yep, yep.
because you see baby Leatherface in a dumpster in this one. So we get to see Leatherface's the Platinum Dunes Leatherface
Before he
origin
loses his
story.
nose.
I guess,
I
yeah.
don't know.
It's a rough time in that
Are
dumpster.
we gonna? Should we end with the pool and some Hawaiian music? One
Yeah,
more time
throw
at
it
the
back
end?
on. Let's go out.
Well, they're
on a
not going to
bang.
hear us, so we have to say our
Okay.
goodbyes, and then we'll
Yeah,
go to
we'll
it.
go to that.
and,
But yeah, we love you guys. Thank you
thank
so
you.
much. We'll
This
see
was
you
fun.
sometime later on this month with episode 40. I still can't believe we've made 40 episodes, of
yeah.
just Haddonfield Radio. Like that's not to mention the bonus episodes and all the rest. So that's but actual episode 40 coming out soon. So anyway, yeah. So we love you. Yeah. I will say this, a quick little clue.
Well, oh boy.
A little bit of my upcoming story for this next episode takes place in Texas, Texifier.
Oh,
this
boy.
one's for you, buddy.
Oh boy.
Anyway, we love you guys.
All right,
See you soon.
here's on to the second half of season 4, folks. We
Thank you
love
guys for all your support so
We're
far
done.
this season and for all along the way. We love you guys. Thank you so much for joining us sincerely. Appreciate you with all our hearts, and we'll see you again real soon.
We got to go look for our Dr. Pepper sponsorship. now.
Dr. Pepper, where did you go?
Why did I do it?
Dr.
Why
Pepper,
did I
come
do
give
it?
me a blow.
I should have known better.